Ready? Rich, I love you. Yeah, buddy! Yeah! Welcome back. What a day. What a day. I hope everybody's well. Peter Corcoran, I do see your messages, and we are not... Actually, we're like 30 seconds late, but I don't consider that late. I consider that on time. Rich Mitch, the waterfowl in the house. How are you doing, brother?
I'm all right, thank you. Sorry, I forgot you were talking to me there. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I was talking to the other Rich Mitch, actually. Sorry, we'll get to you.
That's right, yes, that's right. There you go. Get rid of them, they're everywhere.
Rich Mitch, how are you doing?
That's yes, that one over there.
He's
not as nice as I am.
How was your day? How was your back? What's new? How many perfumes did you buy today? What did you wear? I want to know everything.
Okay, so today I woke up and it was warm. And I thought, it's sunshiny and it's warm.
It snowed like a motherfucker here.
Really?
We got snow, yeah. And it was cold, like windy and the chill. And we're going into May. So we're
that's right.
April 22nd, and we got snow. It's kind of late for snow, isn't it?
It feels late for snow, yeah. But we still get frosts up until May. So it's like you've got to be careful. But this morning I woke up and it was warm, and it felt like a good day to wear something good. So I got up and I had a bit mint about my collection. And I thought, no, I'm going to wear Bois de Portugal today.
Stunning.
So I threw on Bois de... Absolutely, it's the best creed in my opinion. I've got 6 creeds, and that's the best one in my opinion. Bergamot, lavender. I forget what's in the base. Is it ambergris? I don't think it is.
I believe it is ambergris.
Oh, is it ambergris? Right. That's right. Audrey Jane says we have one day of summer. Sorry?
Let me get my bottle.
Go on then. I'll get my bottle as well. Not picking it up by the cap because the caps are fucking awful. Caps are an afterthought on Creed.
They're shite.
Caps just... Yeah, they are correct. That's right. They're shite. They are absolute shite. It's always amazing to hear a North American say shite. Absolutely love it.
I actually picked that up from you because you just refer to everything as shite. So I know, like, you asked me for what I'm wearing in the morning, and I know, like, whatever I tell you, your response is going to be that shite.
Oh, I need to curtail me shite. Stop talking about shite.
You know what? I have to say, beautiful flacons, though. Beautiful packaging. I love the Creed bottle.
Yeah.
I think they're absolutely gorgeous. They fit good.
Yeah, sorry. Keep going.
They fit really good in the hand. I like the curves. It's not 100% natural fit, but it's still very acceptable. I think the bottle with the neck, I'm not sure what size it is. The 75 might be a little bit more attractive just because it has a little bit more shape to it. This is a little bit more boxy, but it's still very beautiful. Beautiful logo, beautiful embossed in the bottle. The cap is shite. The crimp is shite too. I'm not sure if that's supposed to have a collar around there, but I would have put a collar around there. Well, I think the packaging it's first class.
Yeah. Do you know the thing? Do you know how the bottle curves at the front and it curves at the back? It's almost as if it's easier to put the palm of your hand on the front of the bottle.
Yeah.
Like it's more ergonomic to hold it that way.
You mean backwards?
Yeah, like if you put it in your hand like that, that's how I spray them because it's easier to hold them like that.
I never thought of. I rotate my sprayer. Every single bottle, you'll see my sprayer is rotated to the front of the bottle.
So I do that. Yes, I do that. Yes.
That's the very first thing I do when I open up a brand new bottle of perfume is I rotate the sprayer to the front, and from then it'll never move.
Yeah, that's right. I do that, I must admit. Sometimes I'll turn them to the side depending on the bottle. But then when I'm finished spraying, I'll turn it back to the front. It feels like manners.
Right. Yeah,
It feels like good. It feels like good manners.
Etiquette.
Yes, that's right. Good housekeeping. But I don't know why Creed don't. Maybe with this new investment they've got from BlackRock, they'll invest in some caps. Because these caps are absolutely woeful.
Yeah, look at this.
It's like, yeah, they're an afterthought. Like they're a total afterthought. It's as if they've designed everything right, and they've started filling the bottles, and everything's ready to go, and somebody's just gone just before they're about to ship out their first shipment. Oh shit, we need a cap. And they've just gone, oh, fuck. They've just gone, oh, my God. Right? And they've thought, shit, quickly, someone get some caps.
We forgot the cap.
That's right. And it's just a shame that, because it just spoils it a little bit. I can pick my Aventus up solidly from the cap. Hold on a second. I can pick Himalaya up solidly from the cap. I can pick Royal Oud up from the cap. I can pick Green Irish Tweed. Green Irish Tweed's probably the most sturdy. And original vetiver, yeah, that comes. It's just the Pride of Portugal, which is their best fragrance. Maybe they just thought, oh, like the fragrance is too nice. We'll have to make something wrong with like the bottle. Like Persian rugs have always got like the stitch that's out of place.
Yeah.
Because they say that it can't be perfect because only God's perfect. So they have to build in a fault. I think that's a really sweet way of like it's a really nice way of I suppose honoring God if you're religious. By making it's the slight incorrectness or the slight fault in something that makes it individual. That's quite a sweet way of doing it, and I suppose I like to think that's what they've done with Bois de Portugal, but it's probably just them being dicks.
I think it's absolutely beautiful. A viewer's actually sent this to me. He didn't enjoy it, and he's like, do you want it? Would you like it? And I said, absolutely. I think it's one of the best creeds ever. I would gladly take it. And he sent it to me along with, he sent me some samples of not Ensar Oud, but what's the other?
A Riesler.
It wasn't a Bortnikov. He sent me some
Bortnikovs
that were really good as well. He didn't enjoy them, and I was like, wow, these are really good. If you don't enjoy these, I can't imagine like what your taste is like if it's better than this.
Yeah. Some people just, I mean, that's it. You see, that's just the nature of perfume, isn't it? Some people,
everybody,
you get like
different.
Exactly. So I put on my Bois de Portugal before I got dressed, and I went to just put on a t-shirt and tracksuit bottoms, and as I was putting them on, I was like, this won't do. I was like, Bois de Portugal's too. It's not. I don't want to say pretty, but it's too pretty to have in like a shitty t-shirt and like tracksuit bottoms.
There's absolutely something gentlemanly about it. Like
absolutely
up, like very suave.
Yeah. So I thought to myself, sod it, I bought some new shoes last week, some new black shoes. So I just put some dress pants on and a shirt. Just for the day, and that was all based on the perfume.
Friar Duck.
Friar Duck. I might change my name to Friar Duck.
Yeah.
Did I put on my evening dress on instead? No, Audrey Jane, I did not put on my evening dress at 9 a.m. I put on my evening dress in the evening. Of course. It's only the natural way.
Do you find this creamy? I find something
yes,
nice and
it's
creamy.
Got lavender.
Lavender,
it's got
yeah.
Big lavender
note. Sandalwood too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it feels
really full, like full of lots of good things.
It smells beautiful.
It reminds me of, I mean, I'm not saying it smells like, but it reminds me of classics like Chanel's Pour Monsieur.
Yes, I get that. I
This
get the
is
I get the
actually,
Pour Monsieur ADP.
this has, yeah, much more depth than the original Pour Monsieur, which is very citrusy and fresh. This is along that line, but it's deeper and richer.
Yeah.
It
What
just
size
smells.
is your bottle? Is yours a 75 ml?
This is a 120.
Yeah, mine's a 120, and they're the older size bottles. Somebody's just said in the comments, Speed Wolf, the sandalwood is creamy in those older bottles. So maybe it's the lavender leading into the sandalwood. It's so good.
Danny says it's the worst of the Creed. Not my thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see who Danny Antil?
And
Can't see his
still,
comment. Sorry. Oh, there he is. Antil. Smell like New York intense. I don't like Nikolai parfums to Nikolai. I've never smelled one that but that's a lie. Baikal leather. Baikal leather's actually really nice. Micah Christopher says, is Mayfair worth it? I assume he's talking about Royal Mayfair.
right? Which also comes under another name, doesn't it? Or it used to be another name.
Windsor.
Okay, Windsor. Yes,
I think it was Windsor. And Windsor, Royal Windsor or something like that. But Royal Mayfair has Thomas has just bought it, hasn't he? Or Thomas was talking about it in the chat the other day. I remember that one. I remember the Neroli one they do as well. The Neroli Creed. It really, and a Rolfa. Both of those two turn to like cleaning product on my skin. The citrus at the top really hates my skin. It's the same with Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette.
Pour Monsieur, yeah.
Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette turns to bleach on my skin. It's
that's unfortunate. Offensive. It's very beautiful. I love Pour Monsieur. I love it. Both versions actually. I feel like New York Intense took a lot from Pour Monsieur, and what they did was they amped it up. They made it stronger, but I don't think they necessarily made it better. They didn't perfect it. I think Pour Monsieur is perfect. There's this weird screech in New York Intense that bothers me. It's like this. It's got this weird, I don't know, like this vibration, or just this, I don't know.
I've got a sample.
I feel like there's a note in there that bothers my ears, not my nose, but it's off tune.
Yeah. Gets in your sinuses. Yeah, there is. Yeah, it feels like a wood. Yeah, like dry. Something really dry about it. Like gets to the back of your nose and the back of your throat. I've got the notes here. It's Petitgrain Citronné, Poivre Noir. Oh no, sorry, I'm reading the French notes. It's Petitgrain Citronné, black pepper, and oak moss. So that's another brand that only gives you 3 notes. That should be stopped.
Really?
I might revisit. Yeah. Sorry, just giving everybody 3 notes.
Yeah, why not? You give them something to talk about.
You should give them more than 3 notes. You should give them everything.
Do you think?
Or are you saying that
marketing?
It's definitely marketing. I think
marketing be like giving them 10 notes would be even more like to talk about and more.
No, because I think they've realized 3 notes is like the optimal, because 3 notes are what people will be able to remember easily, and 3 notes is what they'll be able to explain easily.
But what about for nerds like us that get excited? Oh, lavender! Wow, patchouli, labdanum, leather. Oh, vetiver, like all things that I love. Just gives you more reason to be excited.
There's very few of us, and there's very many other people who only care about the 3 notes. If you go back to the 1980s, all of those perfumes had like 20 and 30 notes in them. It might be a sign of the times. People are becoming more minimalist.
Yeah, good point. Good shot. What do you think of this? Elvis is asking about Caron Third Man. Do you own this?
I do not. Sorry, I'm useless in this.
Are you familiar with it?
Nope. I've got a vintage Caron pour en homme.
I think this is beautiful. This is lavender and vanilla. It's very simple, but beautiful, like stunning.
Are you sure that's not the pour en homme?
This is
that's lavender and vanilla.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, but he's talking about Third Man, isn't he?
Man. Okay, so why did I think he was asking about pour en homme? Third Man is even nicer because it's much more complex. Third Man is stunning.
I've got 2 seconds. I have got the pour en homme vintage. I will show you quickly while Eugene has popped off. That's the vintage. It's a totally different bottle. It smells lovely, but it's very basic. It's very, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it's very.
I think
simple.
That's kind of harsh.
It is very simple,
but you know, beautiful things come in simple packages.
No, I totally agree. I'm glad I've got it, and it's very. Say if I was going to the theatre or something like that, I might wear something like this. You know, somewhere where you wanted to wear something, you wanted to smell nice, but you didn't want, and you wanted to fit into a classy situation because it smells classy. Like it smells like a classy dude, and if anything, it might be me that's the problem with this fragrance rather than the fragrance itself.
That's a good admit. So, third man, I think if you're gonna have one barbershop fougere that does a little of everything and is affordable, I think this is the one I would recommend.
What's it got? What's the note?
It's got everything. I get a lot of spice. I get clove. I get lavender. It's dry. It's warm. I feel like there's a lot of hay in here.
Hay?
Yeah. Like fresh cut hay or something.
2 minutes. That's Third Man. Third Man. I'm on fragrant again. You'll have to talk about it because there are a lot of perfumes by a brand called Eau Moderne. And there's like 4 called Third Man. You're gonna have to give us 2 seconds.
I'm surprised there's not like a copyright on these or like an infringement.
Les 3 et hommes, toi et homme. Les 3 hommes de Caron. Third Man. It was created by.
Very spicy.
It was created in 1985, and it was created by Akiko Kamel and Françoise Caron, and they're both ladies. The top notes are lavender, Amalfi lemon, bergamot, anise, and rosemary. The middle notes are coriander, carnation, geranium, jasmine, rose, and the base notes are oak moss, vetiver, vanilla, tonka bean, patch, patchouli, cedar, and musk.
Yeah.
What do you get out of it?
A very competent perfume.
Very competent perfume. That's an interesting way of describing a perfume. Yeah. Very competent.
I think it's very elegant, very masculine. Warm, spicy, fresh, spicy. It's got that lemon in there. It's an excellent fougere. Excellent.
Right.
I don't know what else. What else I can tell you? It's a dandy perfume.
Yeah. So you think does it smell old fashioned to you?
It doesn't to me, but if somebody said it did, I get that, because a lot of niche smell like this today. A lot of niche go into, they take from old fashioned perfumes and give them life again.
Yes.
I would not. I
Yes.
don't feel uncomfortable wearing this at all. I wear this. I like this a lot. I would consider it one of my more favorite barbershop fougere with
I wonder if Greg.
probably Boy, Chanel Boy. I'm sure there's other better ones, but those are two of my favorites. This and Boy.
Boy.
You don't
I'm
like
going
Boy?
to fragrance. Boy's good, but the performance is awful on us.
See, I don't have that problem.
I know, but you've got massive skin.
I consider myself extremely lucky when it comes to that. Like, I can smell myself even with skin sense.
Right.
All day, pretty much every single breath I take. What is the worst performing fragrance that you know of?
Oh my God. Do you know Cologne Imperial?
The Guerlain, yeah.
Yeah, the Guerlain, that lasts for 20 minutes, but
Yeah,
that
and
it's
I agree
supposed
with
to only
that.
last for 20 minutes.
I agree with that, yeah. But let's say like a Jiki EDT, I can pick it up after 10 hours.
Yeah.
Which
Old EDTs you used to be able to. It's most of the stuff now. I'm trying to think. What is the worst performing fragrance that I know of. I've probably given it away.
EDT is one of the worst.
EDT?
It is one of the worst performing fragrances. It's got longevity, but it doesn't throw off skin.
Right.
It's very tight to the skin, and it's very airy.
I've got a Prada that's really good for extremely high heat. It's Prada. Oh God, I'm gonna have to pick it out in a second. Hold on. I'm just looking up Greggy. Caron.
I got two.
I've got it.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying I've got this Prada that doesn't seem to last very long, but it's got that type of vibe where you can. Oh, excuse me. Shit, I got it all the way out there and then dropped it. It is Prada Eau Sport Luna Rossa, right? And it's so thin. I mean, it's such a thin.
That. Like, what are you doing with that? How did that get into your?
It was when I was buying designers still, and it was 25 quid in the shops, and I picked it up and I was like, that's extremely pleasant, and that's something I could just throw like 50 sprays of it on and nobody would complain, because it's so thin. And it's like, do you have those perfumes where it doesn't matter how much you put on, it reaches like a ceiling and you won't get any, it doesn't matter how much you put on?
Yeah. Most Chanel does that. I can do that with Chanel.
Sugar.
Like if I put on 5 or 25, it makes no difference.
Yeah. It's like sometimes you just spray perfume on and then you just keep spraying, and it's because, like, I don't know whether you've woke up on the wrong side of the bed and you just want to watch the world burn, so you spray like 50 sprays of something.
Yeah. You never know if you'll be around later.
Yes, that's right. 47 Galen says 4711 barely qualifies as a fragrance, sticks around for about 90 seconds. Yeah.
That's the same.
I've got last summer I went through 600 milliliters, over half a liter of lavande. No, it was lavande. Yes, in one summer, I bought over 600 milliliters of lavande by
You're a hog.
L'Occitane. Yeah, L'Occitane. So I just went hard as fuck on it. It's 4711 is good. It's a little bit too citrusy for me. I wish it had more lavender in it.
Yeah, I don't find myself comfortable in citrus perfumes.
No,
they're ultimately rather dull and boring. I mean, they're beautiful. Yeah. They don't keep my mind active.
No, you don't have any of the Guerlain colognes, do you?
I have 2 of them, and I don't wear them. I'll spray them after a shower, and I'll sit in them for a bit, and then I'll quickly
Yeah,
rate
and
them.
then apply something over the top of it. Yeah.
Like they're beautiful, but they're not very interesting. I know that's a
No.
cardinal sin to say because they're so they're so highly revered, but
Yeah, they're pretty. It's like the girl at school who's like almost too pretty, and you know
right.
that she
It would
wouldn't. She'd be like she'd be too nice in bed. She'd want to
it,
cuddle.
it was the same as you shitting all over the Mona Lisa in the other stream.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
favorite Chanel designer fragrances, male and female. Do you have any favorite Chanel designers?
Yes, I've got a lot of fucking Chanel designers. It will be Antaeus probably.
Yeah, I would say the same for me as well. Favorite Anteos and
Yeah.
then Ego East.
For me, I would. Oh, hold on a minute. You've put us in a position there.
Oh,
I
fuck.
would go.
No, poor Monsieur is good as well, but
I was going to say I was going to say Paul Monsieur. I would say Antaeus first, definitely, because it's a beautiful perfume.
mm,
But I would then go for a second of probably Paul Monsieur EDP or the concentrate.
I like the EDP a lot as well.
Yeah, I love the lavender in it. It's beautiful. I might wear it tomorrow. That's the type of perfume that makes you want to put on a shirt as well.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
gorgeous lavender and patchouli.
yeah.
How do you wear any female ones?
No, not in Chanel. I don't. The most female I usually go with my fragrances is probably Diptyque, but I'm getting off the topic there. The Paul Monsieur is too old manish for me. I get that, Marty. I totally understand that.
I love those old manish perfumes. Like when you call something old manish, I love that. For me, my favorite would be my feminine one would be to wear on a day-to-day basis would be Coco Mademoiselle, and I don't care the concentration. I like them all. I like the EDT and I like the EDP.
I'll tell you which one. One's just come into my head. The female one. Carry on.
But if I had to pick one where I think is the greatest, oh man, there's so many good ones. Like number 5 and Coco are, they're phenomenal. I wear 5 quite often. I think I wear 5 more than Coco. Coco you need to be in a mood for it, and it's also weather centric as well. Like I think it's best worn in the colder seasons. It's not something that I would wear when it's quite warm out here.
I was going to say for my female one, it will probably be Coco Noir, but I've gone off it quite a lot. It feels blocky. It feels very blocky. It feels like it doesn't feel like a Chanel. It feels like they've used a lot of stuff.
A lot of florals.
It feels, yeah. Do you know how like in Italy a pizza's something that they make at the end of the week, and they just throw all the scraps of ingredients in on a base. That's sort of what it feels like they've done with Coco Noir. Feels like they've had like a bit of patchouli left, they've had some rose left, and they've just hoid it all in, and they've just gone, whatever it comes out at, and then they realized, oh, this is actually quite pleasant, we'll sell it. It doesn't smell like a Chanel to me.
I don't know. I quite like it. It's fruity and it's floral, which is
what you spraying.
Coco Noir.
Oh,
I like it. It does feel kind of mainstream.
Yeah.
Is there blueberry in here?
I'll find out. I'll go on the
fruity blueberry in here. Incense and a lot of flowers. Jasmine, rose, iris.
Rose. I get huge rose from it.
A lot of patchouli too. I think it's great.
I get a lot of patchouli and I get a lot of rose. Oh, I've put in Coco patchouli. Coco Noir.
It has a lot.
Sure.
I think it nicely falls in line with the flankers of Coco Mademoiselle.
So the perfumers are Christopher Sheldrake and Jacques Pauls. You can smell Sheldrake straight through it. because it's a lot heavier. So the top notes are grapefruit, bergamot, and orange, which I don't get any of. I'm taking this from memory. And then the middle notes are rose, geranium, jasmine, narcissus, and peach.
Interesting.
And then the base notes are patchouli, sandalwood, olibanum, tonka bean, vanilla or vanille, white musk, cloves, and benzoin.
Yeah.
Cloves, I don't get anything like that. To me, it's a big patchouli rose fragrance with. I didn't know peach was in it, but it sort of makes a bit of sense now.
I can see that. I can definitely see peach.
Yeah. And when was it? It was released quite a while ago now. It was like 2012.
Yeah, almost 10 years old. I think it's a beauty.
Yeah, it's awful to think that 2012 was 10 years ago, isn't it? It's a fucking awful fucking statement, that. I can't believe that's true.
Kenzo's asking, and he's been asking about this for several videos now. I have noticed it's just there's so much going on that I can't keep up. Are you familiar with Gosse by Frederic Malle?
Gosse, yes. Familiar with it slightly. I know of it, but I haven't got it, and I've only smelled it a couple of times.
This is super green, fresh and green, sparkling. There's a huge geranium and galbanum in here.
Is it a broom spray?
No, it's not. And
is it like a perfume?
It's a perfume, yeah. I wore this quite a bit last summer. It's a very springy, summery, seasonal type of thing. I feel like there's a bubblegum note in here because it gets a little bit sticky on me. It's got this sparkling accord, a lot of citrus in the top, a lot of green notes. And then it dries down to something sticky, almost like, let's say, the caramel they used in music for a while. I think it's good. I don't know if it's hard to say if it's worth owning. I mean,
so what do you think about Gosse? What do you think about it, Kenzo? Like, do you like it?
Are you familiar with it?
Are you asking because you want to know if you reckon Eugene might recommend it? Would you recommend to buy it?
See, I like, what are the circumstances? I don't know. Like, does this guy own 15 bottles and he wants to add, does he own 500 and, he just doesn't care? I own it because I'm a collector. If I was a collector, I don't think I would own this. I don't think I would have gone out and bought this. No.
Yeah. Get that. I find myself looking at some of my perfumes and thinking the same thing. Like, if I didn't get carried away, would I have still bought this?
Right. It's interesting to know, like, in what kind of context people are asking a question in, because it needs to be defined. I don't know. I don't know what he means exactly.
No. It's Gosse isn't. I don't know what Gosse even means.
I think it has something to do with like a troubled child or like an infant.
So Kenzo says that he recently purchased Gosse and he's trying to figure it out for himself. How many bottles do you have, Kenzo? Like, ask the duck what fanny means. I know what fanny means. Do you know what fanny means?
Fanny means ass, doesn't it? Or
no, butt? Wrong side.
Oh, really?
Fanny's the front. Fanny's the front. Yeah.
I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of English context that I don't understand, and even you will say, and I'll be like, "What is that?" Like, it's slang.
It happens more than you'd think. That actually, I say things, and people are like, "What? What the hell is that?" Kenzo says he's got 550 bottles. So what house? What house? Right. So that fairly puts me in the shade. That I've got like
Kenzo,
half that.
come on the stream, Kenzo. Let's have a chat.
Kenzo, what's the house that you've collected the most?
Kenzo's a long-time viewer. I
Got a
recognize
good name.
it's been years now.
We were going to go through the Zaharovs.
Oh, tell me. Yeah, you got some Zaharovs. Tell me.
Yeah. Today I got a few Zaharovs from George Zaharov. And one of them was the Rose.
How did that happen?
What a surprise! Exactly. How did that? That's like the other Rich Mitch we were talking about earlier. I've got the Rose one. I got a sample of the Rose one. I got a sample of the tobacco one. Sorry, like the stream for Eugene.
Like the stream for Eugene.
Like the stream for Eugene. A tuppence. Yes, but Audrey Jane, what about threepenny bits?
What's that?
Do you want to talk about threepenny bits? It's Cockney rhyming slang for tits.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. I know it.
Cockney rhyming slang. What they'll do is they'll say they'll like have a word that rhymes with another word, and they'll insert that word into a phrase. So it's like she's got big threepenny bits, and threepenny bits are like the old English denomination for 3 pennies. So 3 penny bits is threepenny, and then threepenny bits. So they'll say about a woman she's got big 3 threepenny bits. Speedwolf wants to know what tosser means. It means a wanker. Tosser, like to toss yourself off, like the jerk off.
That's pretty straightforward, tosser. Like toss. Here we used to say toss off.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Like go wank one.
Yes, wank. I got Zaharov's Signature Royale X, which he wanted to call something else, but didn't. So I got these 3.
I told him to call it Triple X.
Yes, I gave that to
that was my suggestion.
Yeah, I know. I would, if George wants to tell people what he wanted. If George wants to tell people in the chat what he wanted to call it, he can. I think he should have called it that because it was fucking. It was great.
Thank you, Galen. I didn't even recognize 9K subscribers. It's only been 5 years.
Congratulations.
Wow. Maybe more. 6 years.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the first 9,000 are the hardest to get.
How long have you been watching my channel, Duck?
Since about 2016, 2017.
Do you know who was the very first person to find me, or one of like the very first that I remember?
Go on.
Sebastian Jara.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I guess he recognized me from Facebook, and he's like, "Oh, it's Eugene," and he shared my video.
Yeah. It's proper sound. That it's really nice when that happens, isn't it? Like a bigger channel gives a shout out to like, and you can tell the ones that do it and the ones that don't do it because they're worried about hurting their brand. Wankers.
Tossers.
Sorry?
Tossers.
That's right.
All right, so tell us about the Zaharov Rose. What else did you get?
So the Zaharov, I got Royale X, and I got Tabac, and I haven't actually smelled the Tabac yet. So we could do a first impressions on the Tabac, and people are raving about it in the chat. People are raving about Tabac in the chat. Sorry?
Okay. Yeah, go.
So
spray one or
which
the other.
one shall I try? I'll spray Tabac. No, I won't. I'll spray the Rose. We'll save the Tabac.
Tabac is probably stronger, and it'll blow your
nose. I've already got a couple of things on my hands, so I'll spray them on my arms. Hold on a second. God, I'm so pasty. I'm so fucking white. It's painfully white. It's been northernness coming out. Hold on a second, right?
Look, it's still cold here. My hands are so dry. Like it's still
Oh my,
the air is
my
so dry here.
Audrey Jane saying I've just sprayed vintage YSL Pour Homme EDT. Scent of the day.
Oh, did we do
I'm
the days yet?
I did mine. I don't know if you did yours. What's yours?
You did. I told you this morning, and you're like, your response was like it's shite or something. But I put on. I wore Gaiac 10, and
Yeah, I don't like the Labos, but
I get it. I get what you mean, and this is a city exclusive. I don't feel like this is worth the money at all. It's super like the whole exclusivity behind it. They make it like city exclusive. I think Gaiac is Tokyo. I'm not sure. And the
it's one of
prices
the
are
city exclusive.
they're an abomination. And this is a very simple perfume for an exclusive Le Labo, but I like it. And it's basically ambroxan and incense. You know, it's a very I feel like I'm going into a temple, a very spiritual temple. And it's just very meditative. And that's what I like about it. It's very calming and soothing. So it's definitely not worth the crazy prices. But I think this is one of the Le Labos that I would repurchase even at the you know, the mental prices. And when I told you, your response was like, blech.
Yeah, I don't like Le Labo. I've smelled a few Le Labos, and I'm just like in the bin with you for your price. Le Labo's that house that Le Labo's that house that you you have a love hate with, isn't it?
Yeah, I got the Tabac, and I think it's a horrible fragrance. Like that is a bad fragrance. That's like, you know how I was calling Christian Dior a blob yesterday? Tabac is a pure blob. Like I don't understand it. It's just like a blob of shit. You know, makes
Yeah.
no sense to me. There's no rhythm. There's no form to it. It's just like I don't know. It feels like a snowball of a fragrance.
Yeah. It literally feels like the way the Labos are blended. I mean, I don't know who the perfumers are for them, but it literally feels like they've just like picked up some snow off the ground and compacted them together, and then
yeah, it's just
and
like
then just said perfume.
yeah, blob of notes. If anyone understands Tabac, I'd love to hear an explanation or your story to it.
Yeah, I've sprayed the rose on my arm. It's very sweet. It smells like the rose that's in the Kurdijans. You know, the satin mood.
Okay,
So it's got a touch. It's got. Do you know like the sweet rose that's in that? I was at first when I first sprayed it on, I was like, oh, it reminds us of Acteur by I think it's a Zaro.
Yes.
That's got a thick rose up the top, but I would like to smell this as it dried down. I don't know what's in the base. I know George is here, but I can look it up on Fragrantic. I see what's in the base. Sorry,
I haven't seen George here yet.
I've seen George here. I've seen people talking to him as well. You're behind on the comments.
Yeah, I'll get there. We're going. Yeah. We're getting there.
Yeah, this is a flanker for Signature Royale. With not Signature Royale. This is a flanker for Signature. The Signature is an awesome.
The Rose.
Signatures. Yeah, the Rose one and the Tabac one and the Royale.
So hang on. The Rose. Is there any greenness to it? Is there a stem, leaves, roots?
It's not all petals, put it like that, but I'm struggling to get, because I've just sprayed it on, and what I've found from the Zaharov so far is that there's quite a lot going on in Zaharov.
Yeah.
So I'm just, hold on a second. So I'm just smelling it. Come here. It's fresh and sweet, and I think there might be a spice in it as well. Hold on a second. Where are we? There's Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose, and jasmine. Absolute.
Okay. So
that's
it's not a fresh spring dewy rose.
It's not overly fresh, but it's more of a welcome and warm. To me, it's got a warmth. It might be my skin, but to me, it's got a warmth and a welcoming vibe about it. It's got I'm starting to get stem now. Give us a second. Yeah, I'm starting to get some kind of stem, less leaf than stem. I know that's a pedantic thing to say, like saying that there's like more stem than leaf, but it feels like it's got a sturdiness to it. Where's Zaharov? His rose isn't on. His rose isn't on fragrant, I guess. So I don't know all the notes. George, have you got all the notes? Could you post them in the chat? I don't ask much.
Legend has it Rich only drinks vintage milk.
Yes, I fucking read that. I thought it was funny as fuck.
Great comment.
I just drink like cream, like powdered milk. Do you know them people who collect? Have you ever seen those people who collect World War II ration tins?
No,
and
but
like
they'll
eat them.
People collect anything or everything. There's a community for everything.
Yes.
I know a guy that used to collect newspapers. He would keep a copy of every single newspaper. His house, like from top to bottom, every room you couldn't see the wall was newspapers. He had papers like his whole entire life.
Like, do you know what it is, right? That's I was going to say that's a tinder box.
I wouldn't know what a tinder box is, but
tinder box is something that you buy it, and then you strike the match on it, and then you set the box on fire, and the box is then like the basis for like starting a fire. Do you know what I mean? It's basically like a matchbox that like then you turn into like a fire starter. Yeah, I asked. She'll get more though. Sorry, I'm just emailing Audrey.
I like another 13, but again, it's just a bunch of synthetics.
Yeah, I haven't got an irrational hatred of synthetics, but like I want more than that. I want this is something I appreciate about Zaharov is that he uses good materials, you know.
Yeah.
On his channel, he's got the footage from when he goes to like deepest Indonesia to go and have a look at the patchouli.
Yeah,
and he's like, it's like you'd see him like turning up, and he's like, I can imagine George rocking up in like the deepest jungle with his outrageous Versace jackets on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just
yeah,
that's right.
He looks good in it. When I see him in
absolutely.
And I wonder what I would look like in one of those.
It's I would love to be able to pull it off. I think part of pulling stuff like that off is like a state of mind.
Yeah,
I think like you've got to have. I think you've got to have like
people are going to think about you.
Exactly. I think he's got a good sense of self.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. Eva says there's a review of Rose out there on YouTube, and she did it, and I remember it now. I'm definitely getting Oud Satin Mood, like that similar sort of vibe of the Rose from that.
Okay. I haven't tried it yet. It's not out yet here.
Apparently it's shite. I heard Rudy going mental about it the other day.
Oh yeah, he didn't like it. What's up, Eva?
Yeah, he was fucking raging about it, wasn't he? That's George saying how to wear an outrageous shirt. It's how you carry yourself and not give a shit. Have you, George? Have you got the note list in there, or could you just tell what's in like the base?
I think
Sweet
Eva
and
reviewed
warm.
that.
I think there might be like an iris. I think there might be an
Eva-
iris in it.
I believe Eva reviewed the rose.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's what you were saying. And then Rudy shat on her. Rudy was like, "Yeah, that there is, but it's not yours." That's harsh. Zaharov signature Noir and Olibanum signature Noir and Olibanum resin, Bulgarian rose absolute, Turkish rose, flora absolute, red peony, jasmine petals. I get jasmine from it, definitely. That's the warmth. Gold amber, that might be the warmth as well. Sexy musk, sugar crystals, and vanilla beans. I told you it was sweet. I told you there was a sweetness about it. This would be really nice to like. This would be really nice if you were like, do you know, when you go on dates and like you actually go for that date where you think you're gonna get them back to the house.
And then what happens?
Like,
is that
this is the one. This is the one that you wear when you're thinking, right, I'm getting them back to the house here.
Is that the goal to every date, is to get them back home? Or
it depends on the context.
Do you feel the date out? Do you feel the person out?
I think you do that. I think you definitely do that.
Like, or do you just want to add like another one to the list?
Yeah, I think there's a time and a place for adding another one to the list. I'm 35 now. I'm going through this. I'm going through this period in my life.
The 30.
Yeah, it's like I'm going through this period now where I'm thinking to myself, like, I've got enough on the list now. There's got to be more. But it depends as well, because you don't have to do anything at any point. It's just I'm sort of feeling like at that point myself now, like I'm getting off my high horse a bit. But this perfume does smell like this perfume smells like you would put a spray of this like down your boxers, or like if you were a girl you would put like a spray like up your skirt.
Really?
Yeah, I can imagine the lady.
What result would you be hoping for if you were to spray it up your skirt or down your
somebody's nose would get close enough to fucking smell it.
Okay, so hang on. I have a viewer, or he's actually a friend, somebody I'm working with. I don't want to say who it is, but he got separated and divorced and like absolutely gutted, and he was so depressed, and then he found Tinder, and now he's like juggling 9 or 10 different girls, and one of them loves when he sprays Santal 33 on his junk. And I was like, that's so weird, because it's such a harsh fragrance. There's nothing warm or cozy or inviting. It's like a fucking broomstick. Like, I would not want to smell that on anyone's privates.
I bet she likes it rough.
Possibly, yeah.
I bet she just likes it hard.
He's like Eastern European, so I mean that's the type, right? But
hi everyone. Hi George. Thank you for these, George. You didn't need to do this. I've got samples of all of George's stuff now. You got like I haven't spent enough time with them. I've been sampling loads of other shit, but I intend to spend like a couple of weeks, especially since he sent us like a good 5-10 ml decant of this rose. That's promising. I haven't tried the Tabac yet. I'm really looking forward to the Tabac. The rose is sweet though. I can smell like when George said there's like sugar crystals in it, I was like, yeah, it goes with the rose. It's like, it's not necessarily a girly rose, but there is sweetness in here. There's also a dryness.
Brian is on fire. I'm just catching up to the comments now. I don't know what a lot of them are referring to, but he puts pickles on his pickle. Santal 33.
A rosé. Oh, it's pronounced rosé, like the drink. Signature rose. Oh, it's got the little. Oh, of course, it has got the little thing above the E. Pardon me. There's Eva. Eva's kicking us in the kicking us up the ass about my pronunciation.
Does George want to come on and tell us about his fragrances? Actually, tell us about
I would.
Tell us about the tobacco now.
The shirt.
Did you?
All right, you want us to do that? All right. Give us 2 seconds. So Tabac first. Oh, need to prime it.
Come on, George. Come on.
Oh, that's fucking. I'll tell you what that smells like. First blast, right? And it's a good sign, this, because it's my favorite tobacco. It's like a dry. It smells a lot like Tabac Rouge by Faden. Oh no, it's changed.
Oh, one of those.
There's jasmine in this. There's jasmine in this, definitely. I'd almost bet my life on it. Is there jasmine in this, George? So I sent these to Ducky because I listened and got inspired and think he would talk about it, talk about the experience.
Don't be nervous.
I will. I'm happy to talk about it, George. I'm happy to talk about this. Has got major jasmine in it, though, I believe. It's certainly got something a little bit indolic.
Here's the link, George.
Send them the link.
I just put it in the chat.
All right.
Am I still fasting? I broke my fast last night. I had a sandwich, and then today I'm back on. I haven't eaten today, but I kind of regret having that sandwich like right after. I was like, I could have gone without. I was still feeling
brain food. Much needed, that sandwich. Bit of comfort food.
We got to do. I'm actually terrified to send. Like, I don't want Ducky to smell my perfumes because he's very opinionated, and I'm terrified to hear what he thinks. And of course, I want him to be honest. I wouldn't want him to tell me it's good when he doesn't think it is. I know that he is hard to impress. For the most part, he has good taste. He can be quite judgmental, though, sometimes. I guess as an enthusiast, we all have that.
Yeah.
I'm judgmental as well when it comes to perfumes. I know what I like and I know what I don't like.
I'll tell you why I'm like that, right? I think anyway, it's because I smell so much shit. Right? There's so much shit.
But you have to define shit.
Right? There's so much dross that smells like everything else. There's so much stuff that's released and it feels like a pointless release, that it smells like everything else that's already been released. CK, I have missed you. He went away for a while and now he's back, and I'm glad he's back. The duck abides. Sorry, I just got distracted there. For me, there's so much stuff that smells like everything else. There's no contrast in perfume now.
Right.
There's nobody's releasing something like a Fahrenheit or a Coros or a La Malle, even though I don't like La Malle. Like, I respect it for being absolutely bonkers. Oh, Xiao's here. Hello, Xiao. There's nothing that everything smells like you get like a note, and everybody just riffs off like this one. It's not even like a note now; it's an ingredient. Duncan's right. If it smells like Pavarotti, it gets a 10. The standard duck challenge. So you'll get an outlier like Pavarotti, like me and Thomas and Galen all clumped together and got you that bottle of Pavarotti, and you smelled it, and it's like you're probably sitting thinking in your head, how can you possibly say this is a 10 out of 10 when you hate other stuff that I love, right? And it's like it's just the nature of taste. To me, that's what makes like the community great, like, and like how we all talk in here about like different perfumes. It's and like our opinions on different perfumes. That's what makes it great. There's something I can love something, and you can smell the same perfume and be like, oh, that's not very good. Or you can be like, I think that's like, it's all right, but it's it's just ordinary.
Thank you, Mark. Good to see you.
Hello, Mark. But this tobacco, the tobacco's got a little bit of tobacco veneer about it now. It's fairly different. I mean, the tobacco when you first spray it on, obviously I've got like a large sample. I haven't got a large sample. I've got like a sample here of it to like smell. And Duncan's right, no lemon.
Is there
sans lemon?
Is it a fresh tobacco, green tobacco, brown tobacco, pipe tobacco?
No, it's a brown tobacco. It's a brown pipey tobacco.
Dry tobacco.
Little sweet. No, I would say it's like a moist. You know when you used to smoke, didn't you?
I smoked for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you used to roll your own?
No, I bought cigarettes, but my grandfather would harvest tobacco and he would send it back to us. So I don't know how you would call it when it's already chopped and it's ready to be rolled. Yes. So he would send back cases of this that nobody would smoke it. It was just really, it was unfiltered. It was unprocessed. It was very dark and dry and herbal and bitter. There was no sweetness to it. And I wasn't about to start rolling. I would give it to my friends and they would put it in their joints. I didn't smoke weed at the time, but they enjoyed it. They actually thought it was really good tobacco, but I prefer just buying my own cigarettes. But I'm going to let George or finish your thought, and then I'll let George on.
Yeah, okay. So what I was going to say was, this smells like a tobacconist. Like you go in there and there's like a melange of like different like flavored tobaccos. It's not a vanilla tobacco. It doesn't smell like a vanilla tobacco. So at least it's not a rip off of tobacco vanille. But the Ross, obviously, I mean, tobacco vanille's got tobacco in it, hasn't it? And I mean, tobacco's tobacco. So it's got a tobacco smell about it. It's got like a moist. Do you know when it's shredded and it's all ready to just be rolled up?
Right.
And it's like, but it's still moist.
Yeah.
But it's still moist. That it's got that smell about it, and then it's got some sweetness. I'm sure.
The tobacco cases my grandfather would send back. It smelled of earth. It was very soft and it was moist too. It was dry, but it had some moistness to it. But I remember it smelling like earth, like the ground.
Yeah.
It had a very earthy texture and scent to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Hi.
There. Hi, everybody.
The man of the hour.
How are you doing? That's right.
All right. You both.
First of all, tell us what you're wearing. I see Bahamas. I see, is that like palm trees? I see shark teeth. I see all kinds, racing stripes.
No, let me see. I'm wearing my boxers too. So Hermes and boxers. It's
Oh wow!
It's a scarf. It's a mixture of scarves.
Holy shite! You look like a fucking samurai or something.
Hi, Eugene. Hi, Rich.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Good. I'm happy to see you guys. I enjoy this. I enjoy listening to you guys so much that I actually play you when I meditate. It's been around this time. I get home from the gym, I meditate, and then I play you guys. It relaxes me. You guys have very good and interesting conversations, and I enjoy it. You both know what you're talking about, and it's really nice. It's very refreshing.
Thank you.
I'm interested in your meditation. Tell us about your meditation. How long do you meditate for, and do you meditate every day?
I can't read. I don't know. I can't read any of what's going on in the room. So hi everybody. I started meditating when I was 19. I picked up a book of transcendental meditation, and it changed my life. Anyway, so I go right into the meditation. Now it happens instantly, and I could describe it as. And you and I, we've talked about these things, Eugene. It's like going in between the space between thoughts, that emptiness, and so I jump right into it, and it helps me relax my mind. I feel connected, creative, in that space of being able to manifest. It's I can't explain it to you.
I know exactly what you mean, but it's just the separation of thought and connecting with consciousness, which is all there really is. But I know what you mean. When I first started meditating, it was extremely difficult for me to grasp it, and it took a long time. But now that I've been doing it for probably 2 years, it's like I can fall instantly, like within a minute. You know, I'm there. And it makes for a great stress reliever. Yeah. You can instantly feel any pressure, any kind of anxiety, any hormones, everything disappears, and your mind instantly becomes lightheaded and at ease. And I think that's what I love about it so much. It just makes everything go away. Eugene,
I see you unfolding in front of my eyes the past however long we've met each other. It's like I'm going to see you go. We're all going to witness you go into nirvana, and you're going to disappear on cam. You're going to become just energy. And they'll be like, where's Eugene?
Yeah. You have no idea. Like, there's things that I want to say, but I'll be considered a quack because a lot of people just don't understand it or don't know where it's coming from.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's not for everybody. I get that.
Do you know if you go, there's and I've done this before in Kyoto and in Thailand, you could go to these Buddhist monasteries and go and hang out with them for a month. They'll take you in. They don't want money. You know, you could teach them English or something. But that would be something I could see you totally just
George,
stuff like that.
I think about it all the time. I want to on my bucket list, I want to one day sell all my shit, get rid of my place, and just like move to the mountains, like live in Alaska. I got to learn how to hunt and build my own cabin, but that's like become a really big dream for me, is just to live just to live alone, like in peace and away from everything, in solitude.
Eugene, create one fragrance a year, every 2 years. And you'll have a beautiful collection that you could get the royalties on it into your old age. And you could do the stuff like that.
Yeah.
Go up to your cabin and wherever. It'll probably not be cold by the time in the next 5 years the whole the ice caps would have melted. But that's beside the point. But you can still go up there and hang out with the moose. But you're doing it right. And I had always anyway. That's a whole other thing, but I'm really proud of you, and you're sticking to your
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's not always easy, sometimes like things happen and the ego is attached to certain things, and then we come back and we like to get into things that we're familiar with, and we break that, just the highest self. We break that awareness and we go back to things that we're familiar with. So like what happened yesterday, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that it's part of just having conversations, and I see it as all healthy. I see it more of a conflict resolution. Do you know what I mean? Because we're still a loving community, or I'd like to think that to be the case. Anyway, yeah.
All right, so tell us about Rose. Tell us about Tabac.
So,
or anything else you want to talk about.
I said so. Like I had said, sometimes I send you some things that I'm working on before they come out. I like to send it to certain people that love fragrance, just to say, hey, what do you think? Or this is what I'm working on. But with you developing, as you work with your fragrances, or just anybody, when you start the first one, how do I say this? It's like Signature turned out to be really unique, and so when you tweak the different oils in it, it's a unique flankers too. And so that's all. I'm just having fun. I never thought I could have this much fun with flankers, and so I'm excited about this. The most thing I'm excited about too is the Royale X, and it's smell-less, and I've been thinking about what I want to do for some, so having some fun online with it. But
honestly, George, I put that on a woman today, and she was like, "Oh yes." She was like, "That is unbelievably nice." She was like, "That's lush." She was like, "That's the type of fragrance that you get a woman into bed with," and that was an initial reaction. And I'm not like, like the whole panty dropper thing in the community, and it's all bollocks. This is the 62-year-old woman who I'm talking about, and she's like been like a friend like for 15 years. And she was like, that is a lush fragrance. Like there's something like quite animal. There's like something quite like animalistic. There's a part of the brain it gets to that's like that. Like it bypasses like your reason.
yes,
You're right. She was loving it.
And it's like I sprayed and I'm driving in my car, and I feel like we're living in a day and age now we have to watch what we say, but I feel like it's like as if I'm having an orgasm driving in the car, and it's like, wait a minute, I feel like this is all the brain is putting you in a different space than what you're smelling and you're driving. Did I send Eugene? I sent you. Did you smell the X?
I did.
Okay. Did you get that muskiness? Because what did you get from it? It's okay though if you didn't.
I got body part.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. I
did
get that, and I think you should go for it. I think you should release it and call it whatever you want.
I was going to say you should call it what you want to call it, because it's a great name for it.
I want to so whoever, and I'm not. How do I say this? I don't want to come across like I'm selling anything. It's just such a unique fragrance that it was supposed to be the original Royale. This was supposed to be the original Royale, and I got into not an argument or anything, but just saying, George, it's too scandalous for you to come out with it. What are you going to tell people? And so Royale is the Santal. What was supposed to be Santal is Royale right now. And then after we released Royale, I'm like, I want to come out with this. And so I called it Royale X. But I want to call it Afterfuck.
Afterfuck?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I told my 62-year-old friend this today, and she was like, "No, what you should call it is pre-fuck, because it smells like you're gonna get some." Yeah. And I was like, well, I'll tell him. But I was quite scared actually, because she's 62. She should be this should be like, she shouldn't be getting this excited.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah,
someone like that, and because what I want to do is that I grew up I grew up with monks and nuns, and that sex was a sin and all this other stuff, but we're all sexual beings. There's the masculine part of a man is sexuality, and I just felt like a man coming out of the shower smelling fresh with lemons and stuff like that, and then sweating with someone in between the sheets, and you're getting that smell, and I freaking love it. That
smell is something else, right?
Somebody said in the chat, pre-cum parfum. I think that's awesome.
The chat is great, eh?
And I
the chat's on fire.
It's a bunch of naked bodies, men, women,
like Greek gods.
Yeah, just all meshing and getting sweaty. That's what it is.
You could do like you've seen the bathers, but you could do like you've seen the art the picture. I can't remember who did it, but it's called the bathers. And it's lots of like it's like you see the back of the women, and they're all very curvy and like voluptuous. And you could do that. You could do a perfume like that, but before they got into the bath. You know, like all these like women, real women need like a bath, and like they haven't got into the bath yet, and then they're all in the bath together. I'm getting a bit carried away.
You gotta explain it more to me, but you know, later, so I could, because I'm putting this all together now. I want Zaharov to have an edginess to it as well, and so
yeah.
So
are you set on that name, or is there still like room for?
There's room. Do I have?
I think it's a good idea, but I would use something that's less suggestive, but also, you know,
had it to show you. Do you want me to get it? You want to wait
implies a minute? Something that implies the same thing.
All right, hold on.
So give me 2 seconds. The large bathers. It's this painting I was talking about is called The Large Bathers, and it's by Paul Cézanne. And it's like some pretty girthy women about to get into a like a pool, and they're all naked. It's like it was painted in 1906. He did a lot of bathers. Did Paul Cézanne?
Have you spelled oud infini?
I believe I have. I hated it.
Why?
It was too much for us.
Ooh.
It was too much. It was too much jasmine.
Is it anything like the night?
No, the night's more refined. I think the night's much better. Oud infini, you would quite. I think you would like. I think there was like Liam saying like too much for the duck. It was like. It was oud infini. There's too much jasmine. If it just smelled like shite, I would probably enjoy it more. But there's piss on the shite, and it's like there's too much. I can't take piss on the shite.
George, do you like dirty fragrances like that smell of fecal, that smell of urine, that smell of body parts?
The person that got me turned on to that was you and Robert from A Fragrance Journey, because you both love.
Yes.
And Rich likes those kind of fragrances too.
Yeah, I like dirty notes and hard note and big notes, but jasmine. There's something like jasmine that makes me a little bit queasy. There's grass in the shite. Saying there's grass in the shite, like undigested whole shit.
Somebody was grazing.
Someone was grazing. Didn't have time to digest it, so just shut it out.
I love an indolic jasmine or any floral. I love pissy florals.
Yeah, pissy florals they're probably the only note that I'm not. I'll probably come round to it. One day. I told Desitas, sorry, can you read that? It was a concert. I told Desitas Pissarra at a fragrance expo that expo smelled like my grandfather's barn to me. I don't think she took it as a compliment. I said it in a complimenting manner, though. Well said.
Oh, Fosco's a big fan of it.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yes, that you sent us the picture today. It looks good.
You know what that reminds me of, George? A harness.
A what?
A harness. You know, something that you strap your partner into?
I know what that is.
Yeah, buddy.
Look, I have already said, you know, I have lived life. I have been wanting to experience. I try to experience as much as I can and without judgment. And part of that, like, is enjoying, you know, that part of life too. And so, yeah, that's interesting that you said. So I wanted something gritty, but still.
Gritty is great.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my opinion?
Yes.
I think you're too classy for that name.
For Afterfuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're way too classy. And that's just my opinion. If you love it, use it.
No, I think, and I had said this to Rich, is that it should be called that. But it would be very difficult. It's not. I think that talking about it is one thing, but having it on a box that my nephews and nieces would see, I don't want that, you know, and so or anybody for that matter. So
they're gonna give suggestions. The chat's gonna give suggestions of good ideas. I'd love to hear.
Oh, let me get on now that I can see what's going on. So
I have just found my sample of Oud Infini. Right, so give us 2 seconds. Sorry, use crack on while I try and sort my life out here and spray this perfume.
Chastity belt or boudoir.
Chastity belt.
No, it's dirty, guys. Guys, it smells like, if you could imagine after whatever you go and you smell yourself, it smells like that. So it's not, I don't want to say romantic.
It's something butch about it.
Yeah. It's masculine. It's a very masculine fragrance. Anyway, thanks for having me on.
Anytime.
Thank you.
I love hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, I like hearing George.
Thank you.
This is an absolutely outrageous perfume. I don't hate this like I used to. I may have done this an injustice. It's got a slight freshness to it, like fresh shit. You know, like fresh shit, fresh horse shit has got like that sort of freshness about it. It's like it hasn't been sitting in the sun for too long. Like it's come straight out of a cow's arse. Well, horse shit coming out of a cow's arse would be quite interesting, but you know, like, and then it's got like a rubber. Do you know like when you go to get the tires changed on a car?
Yeah.
It's got that sort of like the factory, but it's like there's air in it.
Like rubber and ground, like pavement.
Not pavement, no, but like rubber, like a line of tires. Fresh tires, though. Oh, that is a dirty, dirty bastard.
What is?
You see the color.
He's talking about
the Oud Absolute, right? Is that what he said?
Oud Infini.
Infini, sorry. Regine, what kind of fragrance do you smell that's really like that dirty
fecal?
Yeah.
I think the night really paints that for me. Yeah.
Yeah, Oud Palau. I get that from Oud Palau as well.
I think oh, sorry, go on. Oud Palau. Yeah. I
was just going to say Oud Palau. I think the Oud and Oud Palau. I don't know if the Oud and Oud Palau is real, but there's definitely turned up like the filthy animalic, like the filthy animalic aspects of it.
I love that you guys love that, because a lot of people would go like this and be like, "What's this shit?" And
yes, literally.
Eugene, you're the one listening to you and how you're talking, how you. And then, of course, you've been bringing Rich on, but this is from years when we first met, just how much you appreciate the experience, even if it doesn't smell to your liking or you just enjoy it, you know? And so...
Yeah.
Well, in a world where everything smells so same, it's like they're a delight.
Yeah.
You know? If you ever get the chance, you must smell the vintage Un Fleur de Cassis, which is, it's probably less than 20 years old, but it is literally the scent of pulling out. If you've ever gotten that instant, this is it. It is perfection. It's like somebody had taken a snapshot of that moment and put it in a perfume bottle. Outrageous.
Yeah.
And that's art.
That's
absolutely art.
Mon had said that there was a porn actress. A guy wanted to get the scent of the woman that this porn actress's vaginal secretions when she was having her orgasm. And I was fascinated when they were telling this to me. You know, you're in New York City in this big boardroom and they're saying this, and I'm like, how So let me get this straight. Does it comes what, in a Ziploc bag? I mean, what do you guys do? Do you guys take a pliers out and smell it? And that's what they had to do. And they put it into that gas meter thing to read it. And he was not happy. The guy wanted to get that part of that euphoria. But you know, when you're with somebody and you guys are collectively as two energies, and you're both having that moment where you're releasing everything, the guy's brain is also opening up too.
Right. The dopamine's coming.
That's right. And so it's more difficult to capture that moment. But when you're able to do like you said, that's art. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome. I really do. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I never even thought about them trying to capture, like in the gas cup. What's it called? The
gasometer. What is that called? What is that?
I don't know, but it's fascinating that they can reproduce that exact smell.
I think it's called a ozone machine, a scentography, scentography. Well, because it's all molecules, right? All it is maneuvering the molecules, and that's why they do flavors and fragrances. The same they could do Chanel No. 5 and Winter Fresh Tide soap and Jello strawberry. It's all right. They're all molecules, right?
Yeah. There's something about wearing those fragrances. They're sultry, and I guess they kind of take you back to, good times, or for somebody bad times. I don't know, but they're just different. They're different from what the mainstream is looking for or used to.
But there's nothing new coming out. I talked to the fragrance houses, like the houses meaning the Mons and of the world, and I don't know if you have the same.
The flavoring houses.
Yes, the flavoring houses, and they're just more of the same stuff coming out, very linear. It's fragrance churning, and so they must be. I couldn't imagine working with you. It must be a dream of theirs to be working with you on your fragrance.
I don't know what situation they're in, but
you must be a joy, because it's a lot different than the bigger boys or the other companies, because a lot of them just want to churn out.
Yeah.
Why they want to be safe, because it's a huge investment. These companies are putting millions of dollars on fragrance, and for them it's just churning. But I can imagine working with you on doing your own thing. I'm just proud of you, and I think the world of you. And I've said this over and over again. There's going to be a couple channels, a couple content creators that are going to rise above and become global brands in their own right. And it's going to be the ones that really do this right. And all it takes, think about this, right? All it takes is a Roja or somebody to go to, I don't know, a Curly fragrance and say, hey, let's do something. And it will change. It'll change the entire landscape of fragrance. I get excited because it's there. So, you'll start seeing the other big houses, Chanel, Guerlain, they're going to start plucking LVMH. They're going to start plucking you guys. There's no other avenue for this industry to go towards. Brick and mortar, all the closings, they're only taking the large conglomerates. And so there's nowhere else to go but in this space. And it's coming.
Right. I'm curious what the landscape will look 20 years from now. What will change?
You're looking at different generations, right? In the 90s, you had the Estee Lauders of the world, and then in the thousands, you had this rise of the perfumer coming out with his own collection of fragrances.
Yeah,
and I think it's now going to be we're going to go into this era of online content creators.
I think you're right. I think perfume, you'll see a lot more of that as our perfumers starting their own lines. It's already happening.
Yeah, but it's not. I want to be careful how I say this. I think though that has to evolve to the artistry of fragrance. But like we have, we're gonna get a microcosm on here. What you see in the real world, you know, Walgreens has their fragrances. You have different levels of fragrances, and I think that has to evolve to a higher, more luxury. And I'm hoping, Eugene, I'm saying this publicly, which I'm just hoping that you are the first to do that, to do a true artistic fragrance collection.
I appreciate that, George. Thank you.
So I'll shut up. Thank
No,
you for
no.
having me.
Please. I'm inviting it. You're actually the first to inspire me to go for this. You know, you planted that seed. You put that thought there, and it just, that seed turned a voice, and that voice in me just got it louder and louder and louder, and I couldn't keep it down anymore. You know, it was like a part of me was kind of scared, because I've never done anything like that. Part of me didn't have the confidence. Part of me didn't know what to do. I remember talking to my therapist about this, and he's like, "You're scared because you've never done it before, but it's just like brewing a cup of coffee. All you got to brew a cup of coffee, what do you do? Well, the first thing is you stand up, then you turn your foot towards the coffee machine, then you start walking towards the coffee machine. It's just a slow process that you got to experience."
I just hope that you allow yourself, I shouldn't say this, I'm speaking freely, if I may. Just allow yourself to not be afraid, because it's also very nerve-wracking when you launch something that's truly yours, that you picked, that you chose, that you financed, you did the bottle, you did that, you chose everything, and you present it to the world. I look at it like you're showing your penis to everyone. And you're saying, you're watching everyone now, they're going to say,
that's what you got?
yeah.
Oh man, that's amazing. Yeah,
That's
it's
what
like
it is, because it's an appendage, and the most personal thing to a man is their penis, right? And so that's what I mean. I didn't mean it in a sexual way. I meant it like something that's so private. And that's what I see with you getting nervous. It shows me that you're putting your heart into it, instead of the top note is jasmine, sandalwood.
Yeah.
The middle note.
No.
And so I
Yeah,
can tell.
I get what you mean by you're standing there naked in front of the world, and you're just waiting to hear what people have to say about you, about being judged.
But I read some. You're doing it, and we were yesterday with Rich Mitch. I'm very passionate about this because I had to work through a lot of stuff. When you put yourself out there and you become successful and you fall down and you pick yourself up again, you really need to learn how to bounce back and not give a shit and keep going forward and believe in yourself.
That all comes with loving yourself.
Right? And that's what you have to do. And so, people go, oh my God, another fragrance. Do you understand that every person in the fragrance community can come out with their own fragrance?
And there'd still be enough.
Exactly. The market will always dictate, right? And so there's room for everybody.
Absolutely. So where do you think it comes from, like the judgment of, oh no, another fragrance?
What do you think?
Insecurity.
And?
It's a reflection of their own thoughts and their own mind space.
And jealousy.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And jealousy is fair, because if you work back to it, why are you jealous? I'm jealous because Eugene is coming out the fragrance. Oh, okay, what's so jealous about that? Well, he's doing it and I'm not. Okay, There we go now.
Right.
And because he's doing something and I'm not. Okay, Then get your ass.
Right. And start creating.
Yeah.
Shit. Sorry, I just dropped something.
And that's why yesterday, talking with Rich, and how Rich said and I'm glad I wanted him to finish his thought, and that's why I said, when thinking of the past, with all the things that have happened to me in the past and the stuff, I've worked with Brooks Brothers, Heartmarks, I worked with huge companies, and I don't even think of the past because I have so much that I need to do in the present to get where I need to get to. I don't have time.
Right. Yeah. It's gone. It's over. You can't change any of that. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. And I'm so excited for you, Eugene. I'm so freaking excited.
Thank you, George.
Thank you. I'm hoping that what's behind you, the beauty of what's behind you, and you're getting inspired to do it the right way.
So I was talking to Rich. I shouldn't even be saying this, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway, just for conversation's sake. I remember reading a interview or watching an interview from Pierre Bourdon, who's one of the greatest perfumers ever, and he said that he still owns his best work. He hasn't been able to sell his best perfume, the best thing he's ever created. He's only sold like the crappy stuff because that's what brands want. I think Rich Mitch is eating like somebody's.
I'm not eating. I'm putting some stuff away.
Oh, I thought you were like sucking or eating on something.
Eating Tic Tacs.
No, I'm putting something away. Sorry.
I love you.
Thanks. I love you too.
You were saying, Eugene?
Yeah, so Pierre Bourdon couldn't sell his best perfumes just because they were too avant-garde or too different. And I know Maurice Roussel couldn't sell Musc Ravageur. Nobody wanted it, and he held on to it until Frederic Malle eventually bought it. So I kept thinking about that, like, that's so strange because these are the type of perfumes that I want to smell. So I went to my perfumer and I said, listen, this is what I understand. Do you still own your best perfumes? Because I would be interested in them. And he was like fucking blown away. He's like, that is a fantastic idea. Like, let's discuss this some more. So, that's like coming down the line after everything else.
Why don't you just go to all the different perfumers and just say, just give us your best work and I'll sell it?
Do you know how hard it is to get in touch with these perfumers?
Yeah, I would mud wrestle my own mother to get in touch with Pierre Bourdon.
I don't have the contacts. I don't have the know-how.
Yeah. Got to be a way.
I don't agree with you, Eugene, but okay.
About what?
I don't agree that if anybody, how do I say this? The one thing that I always did, and this is, listen, we're just having a conversation, so the one thing that I always did is I never thought there was no door that was hard to knock on because I always believed in my own talent. And so I think with you, Eugene, that if you were really to knock on some doors, I think that, well, let me ask you this. Have you tried to knock on some doors and it has not been open for you?
Out of my own fear, I kept calling the same number, kind of hoping nobody would answer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I understand.
And, you can always do more. When you want something and you're passionate and you're driven, you find a way to succeed.
But also, Eugene, you meditate. I see your discussions. I see it. Certain things are happening in your life that give me the impression that it's taking you to where you need to go. I don't see that you'll know better if things are coming into place and clicking. But I believe that if you really wanted something or you wanted to work with somebody, and I'm talking about that person and not a library or staff or, you know what I mean? I think that your doors would be open. I think your doors would be open, and those perfumers all talk to each other. I mean,
Yeah, there's not many of them in the world. I'm sure they know of each other.
They do. And
Yeah, I was going to say, especially the big ones will as well.
but Eugene, if I were you, and this is coming from someone that has been in this space, is if you could take one thing and put all your dreams, your vision, your hopes, aspiration, your fears, your love, your everything into one bottle and have that bottle be Eugene, you could have 100 others that will be every little nook and cranny of your crazy head, and every little fold of your brain could be a fragrance.
Yeah.
And that's my wish for you. And that's my wish for anybody out there, you know, that dreams, because everybody would love to create a fragrance.
Yeah. And I tell you this, if this is something that's possible for me and my brain, I think anybody can do it. Because I never would have imagined this for myself just 2 or 3 years ago.
That's right.
And I say that with like all the sincerity I have in my heart. If this is possible for me, anybody can do it. It just takes determination
Determination, passion,
and love. Love. It takes love.
The way you're doing it, because there's other ways to do it.
There's millions of ways to do it. I'm doing it the only way that I know how. And I've never done this. Like, I'm completely like bootstrapping this, you know? It's like I could be doing a million things wrong, but I won't know until the next time.
I love it. You know, when I'm sitting in the first class cabin of the airplane and I see people going to the back,
yeah,
the one thing you hear a lot is, or that I hear is, one day I'll be rich enough to sit up here. And they don't know that to manifest that, there's so many other different ways to you upgrades, points, certificates, complimentary, this, that, you know, instead of actually paying for it. And so with you, you're bringing all these forces together, and you know, you're making it happen. And the reason why I said that is there's so many ways to get to where you want to get to, and it's not I need $1 million, because things find a way of coming together as you're working on it. You know, you're bringing these forces together, and
right.
And
and if they're not, it's just a matter that you're not imagining them hard enough. You just need to imagine harder.
I'm excited for it. I really am. I'm your biggest cheerleader.
Thank you. And I know that. I feel that. All right. Okay. Tell us about Tabac. Let's move on. Let's go into Tabac. I'm interested in Tabac.
So I wanted to do maybe two flankers a year is what I'm kind of thinking. I want to do a women's, you know, I want to do a privé, which is a little bit of a higher end one. And so this year was going to be rosé and Tabac. They turned out really beautiful. It's just that the global movement of goods and services has really like tightened up, and it's stretched out. You know, bottles, caps, fragrance, like the patchouli farmers in Indonesia, you can't get into the country to collect the patchouli, so we're going to delay the what do you mean? I never heard that before.
Right,
because of COVID. And so the rosé, I wanted to come out in March for Mother's Day, but it's going to be May. And then the Tabac, do you know who got me onto Tabac actually was Carolina Fragrance, of all people, Cam. And
how so?
Because he loved tobacco fragrances. And I said to Claude, I go, Claude, with the Noir, it was Claude, can you do the rosé? The rose is 3 times the price of the signature. That Rose Absolute's very expensive. Anyway, so I go, can we add Rose and then maybe a tobacco? And he added like vanilla and tobacco and jasmine, like Rich said. And it turned out to be just a beautiful, very masculine, it's like a cashmere sweater of wood, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's coming out, I'm hoping, October. Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Claude's been working on 8. So Signature has black pepper in it. And so he dialed up the black pepper and added Szechuan pepper, pink pepper, all these peppers. And are there a lot of pepper fragrances out there? I mean, is it something that people would wear?
I like pink. I like pepper in general. I think pink pepper has been overdone in the last couple of years. I like pink pepper as well, but I want to smell something new.
It smells like black pepper though. He put 8 different peppers, so the only one that comes out is the black. I was just curious.
I do love peppery fragrance. I love spicy fragrances, but I want to see new use of spice. I think nutmeg is a great spice that's underused. It adds a lot of depth. Also, some mustiness.
I gotta read this list. Let me see if I could tell you it's 8 peppers, and so it's
pink pepper almost adds like a fruitiness to it, like a berry.
No, this smells like you could sneeze. That's what it does. It smells like has black pepper on it. I should say it. You see what you think?
It's still peppery.
It is peppery. And then the other one is the increase. It's a big iris bomb.
Ooh.
And
what's
so
that?
That's what
is that a new perfume?
For next year, yeah.
Iris?
Yeah.
Wow.
So so it's black pepper, pink pepper, timber pepper, rosemary, citrus, cardamom, berries, bergamot, mint, rhubarb, driftwood, patchouli, guayol, vetiver roots, black amber, vanilla beans, musk. So that's kind of like, it's 5 peppers actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah. So I should send it to you. I'm just curious to see what your thoughts are.
That's going to be the iris perfume or the peppery?
The pepper.
Okay.
And so I got to send it to you. And then, so I have to work 2 years into the future because of all of the bottles and printing and all this other stuff that have to come into play. So I was thinking of doing a fragrance that smelled like baklava.
Oh, yes.
And so people
Honey
actually will wear a fragrance
walnuts.
that smells like food. Right? They actually wear Gourmand. That's kind of foreign to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baklava is a Greek dish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's honey.
Pastry.
Honey, walnuts, and pastry.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My mom bakes that quite often.
Yeah.
It's so rich and yummy.
Yeah, people would wear that. That would go down really well in the winter, like because people tend to wear more gourmands at like when it's cold, and especially with that, that's got a lot of syrup or honey as a baklava. But I think it would go down well because it would be different because you don't see baklava as a note. It would be like a good in point for like a fragrance. You could say to people, "This has got baklava in it," sort of like Noir Extreme, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. That's got a kulfi from India in it. That would be like a very similar sort of thing.
I think honey is fascinating because you can do so much with it. You can go so many different ways with honey. It adds color.
Yeah.
It adds texture. It adds, reflections of light, powderiness.
They took the honeycomb. Instead of taking the honey, they took the honeycomb and CO2 extracted the oil. And it turned out to be such an exceptional, something that you wouldn't think. Like, I was like, holy shit, that's incredible. Instead of taking the honey, they took the honeycomb.
Right, which is more pure.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Listen, the dream, right? We all have to dream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you can get animalic honey as well.
Yeah.
Like really like the animalic aspects of honey.
Explain that, Rich.
Like bees don't have bees stink. I don't know if you've ever been near a bee, like a beehive, or like do you know beekeepers?
Yes.
But bees have got a really strong smell, and it's not very nice. It's very much like BO. So what you get from the honey, it depending on what they've eaten as well. You know, like the honey that they've like what they've absorbed, like if they've got it from lavender, or if they've got it from like trees. What's that one from New Zealand that's really good for you? It begins with an M. Manuka honey. It depends what the bee eats as well, but I don't know. It might be the type of thing you'd want to do, George. But if you get up to like a beehive, right, or you get up to like a beekeeper and you smell bees when there's a lot of them around, that absolutely stink of BO, right? So what you've got is you've got this like this contrast between like sweet and fresh, and you've also got like this dirty, animalic, furry little beast aspect. And another interesting thing about bees as well is the honey acts as their honey acts as like an antiseptic because they haven't got immune systems. So like a bee will go and get some resin off like a pine tree, and they'll use that as their form of fighting disease. That's why loads of bees are dying at the minute, because they don't have an immune system and there's a disease running through like the bee population.
Bees can go extinct.
Yeah, because they've got no immune system to fight. They've got no immune system to fight off disease. They use the honey and the resins because you know how the pull off. If you ever leave wooden furniture outside, right, you'll see bees go towards it, right, and they'll scratch off the marsh off the top of off the top of the wood, and they use that to build their nests, right? Or their it's a bee's nest, isn't it? Or you get a wasp's nest in a beehive, and they'll use that to construct the outer parts of the bee, of where they live. And then the honeycomb obviously is made by the honeycomb. It's really interesting. Bees are very interesting little beasts, but they've got animalic. They smell like they're wearing Coros, but they're also making honey at the same time.
How do you know so much about this?
I don't know. I don't know how I know. So, like, I just went down the rabbit hole. I just went down the rabbit hole once about bees.
Muskie, I'll put in the beehive. If you come with me, we'll stick our heads both in it together.
I'll do that. I might do that tomorrow for a laugh anyway.
You know a lot. Like, you know a lot about fragrance and oils and extraction and I see fragrance.
Yeah.
Robert is a fellow lover of those kind of fragrances, of the animalics. I don't know if you want to bring him on here, Robert. If you want to come on, have you met Robert? Do you know who he is?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
I've known Robert. Yeah.
He loves your kind of the animalic fragrances. But how do you know so much, Rich, about all this stuff? I'm just curious.
I just if I get interested in something, then I just look into it. I've always been interested in things that's the stupidest thing I've ever said. I've always been interested in the things I'm interested in. Like, I can't learn about something that I'm not interested in. I did terribly at school because I used to just sit there and basically just stare out the window. I hated all this. Sorry?
You're a tosser.
I was a tosser at school. I was a massive tosser at school. School was like a jail for me. But as soon as I got out and as I've got older, if I get interested in something, I just thought that information about the bees was really interesting. Like, I sat and talked about about the bees with my friend, my 62-year-old friend. She was like, "Oh yeah, bees don't have an immune system." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? They don't have an immune system? What happens if they get sick?" She was like, "Well, they die." I was like, "That's not good. How have they evolved for this long?" And she was like, "Oh, they use honey as an antiseptic." I'll tell you something else outrageous as well. Do you know birds, right? Birds will pick up cigarette butts off the ground and put them in their nests because the tobacco is it's an antifungal and it's an antibiotic. So what you will find if you ever get the birds' nests taken out the eaves in your roof, you will often find cigarette butts in the nests.
They probably keep pests away too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they don't because the tobacco. The tobacco's got like loads of anti-inflammatory. I don't know if it's anti-inflammatory, but it's like antifungal and antibiotic. So yes.
That's incredible.
She's me 62. It's just Taffy wants to know why I keep mentioning the age of my friend. It's because it's such a strange dynamic. She's like a good 27 years older than us, but it's like I met her through her daughter.
Do you
like
have
mates with
older women?
Do I what?
Do you have a thing for older women?
Not hugely. Not that much older than us. No.
But when you said 60, whatever you said, I just pictured this kick-ass woman. I think you were saying it because you wanted to show like she's fucking she's lived, she knows,
yes,
she's strong, and that's how I took it when you said that.
Yes, she is absolutely. Yeah, she is absolutely. She's had an outrageous life. She's had a great life. She's done a lot of things.
Strong woman, I love it, and I think
she is.
I picture Maria to be like that, Eugene. I picture Maria to be a strong, very strong woman.
She's very strong, and
I mean, I'm talking about, not muscle wise. I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're saying, but I think it's great when you can have a relationship like that, like the Duck has with his friend with the opposite sex, and it just being pure. There's no attachment like that. I think that's fantastic, and just be open and on. Any relationship you have with anybody where it's just pure, open, and honest is something special.
It is special.
It should be treasured and cherished.
I have to tell you what happened to me. If I could tell you a quick 2 minutes.
Sure.
I grew up as a Greek Orthodox. I went to a Greek school, and Serbians in the Chicago area are also part of. Are you Serbian? No, you're.
I'm Croatian, but I'm sorry to hear about your friend. Your friend, you lost.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Eugene. Thanks. And yes, thank you, Eugene.
You're welcome.
And I just. I grew up, so we all went to school together, and one of them, his name was Malle, and we went to grammar school, we went to high school together, and then he went to DePaul, I went to Loyola. He wanted to go to dental school, and I said, I want to start Zaharov. So he came, and we started together. I did the design, he did the finance and the production, and my God, and now we're here. And it was just, when you have someone, a friend in your life, when you have someone that close to you, you know the dynamics of growing up in similar backgrounds and culture, and you know the crazy aunt and the little mechanisms of the father, and it was just hard. So I lost. So Milan passed away 2 weeks ago of cancer. He had a little lump on his neck 4 years ago, and it progressed through this whole time. And it's just, when you talk about finding someone, a good friend, because he had a wife and two beautiful girls. And so anyway, I was his best man. So when you have someone that's so close to you, hold on to them.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to say. And so thanks for letting me tell you for this story.
Those relationships are special and they're hard to come by.
Yeah. And so you seem to.
Sorry, George. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about your friend. Sorry, George.
It's okay. And so it's okay. I mean, I want to celebrate it, and I want to celebrate your friend because she seems to have a very prominent part in your life. And I just love that. And that's what I saw when you were talking about her. I saw someone like that in your life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She is. Yes.
Do you guys connect every day?
Yeah. Our mother's really unwell. Our mother's like in her mid-90s now, and she's declining. So I've got to be on call if like the phone call comes to like, you know what I mean? So I take her to see her mum when she can. Obviously with the coronavirus and stuff, she hadn't been able to see her mother for like a year. So I had to I've taken her to see her a couple of times. But like it's not looking good. I'm glad she's been able to see her before she actually passes away, though. But her mother's not in a good place at the minute.
Prayers to Mama, who's living quite a big long life. Oh, God bless her.
95 years old. She's lived a huge life. Yeah, she's seen a lot of things in her time. If you look back 95 years, it was 1926 she'll have been born in. So imagine everything that's happened in her lifetime.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Amazing.
So so your lady friend, if I may call her that, someone
Yes.
asked, how long have you guys been friends?
About 15 years.
Okay.
I went to school with her daughter, and we just became friends, just by proximity. And we used to have these like huge long conversations about stuff, and it was so we just like kept having huge long conversations and basically just became mates. And that's just when you click with someone, just when you become friends with someone. She's like one of my friends I've had the longest now. So
I see that like a soulmate. Do you know, like,
yeah, a bit.
Right? You feel like you have, and I believe like a soulmate doesn't have to be sexual. It could be just, where you connect and on your journey somewhere along the way, and you bring each other and you grow from it. That's pretty awesome. Wait, I want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Ray. So I want to ask you about the oils. Have you ever been immersed? Have you ever met a farmer who extracts oils or grows it or uses it? Or is this all?
No, I haven't.
That's incredible that you're so familiar with all of this. Isn't it amazing, Eugene?
It is. And you can see the passion running through his veins. Like, dedicate yourself just to read. You got to spend a lot of time and immerse yourself in information and know so much. And that's exactly what he does. He's obsessed to the core.
So, Rich, let me ask you this, because what would be, I know you have, how do I say this? Like, when you see yourself in the future, what would you ideally like to see yourself doing? If that's something that, I mean, you have so much knowledge about this space.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. It's not something I've ever really. At the minute, I was talking to Eugene the other day. I think it was on stream as well. It was yesterday, wasn't it? I'm trying to live more within like the present at the minute, rather than, because I've spent a long time living in the past.
Oh, we're losing you. You got to pay that Wi-Fi bill.
Jack, don't go, Jack.
Titanic.
That's awesome that you talk with Rich and you inspire. I mean, Eugene, that's incredible. And this is anyone who's listening. I think sending that energy out into the universe all comes back. It's like throwing a rock in the water and the ripple effects. That stuff.
Yeah.
That you put out there. Yeah.
Rich, leave and then come back. It must be your connection. Somebody had messaged me and they're like, I love Duck. I really enjoy Duck. Like, but who is he? Like, how did you find him? Like, how did you guys connect? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is a part of consciousness. This is how the universe evolves. And this is how we just got here. Everything just this is how it played out.
So for people who might not be understanding, when you say consciousness, can you bring it to more simpler words? Like, if I was a kindergartner, explain it to me.
It means the present moment, from moment to the next. The same way a fucking pine cone grows on the tree. It doesn't have a GPS. It just, the universe fucking does its thing and it grows. The same way you were born, like, consciously, you didn't get to choose your hair color or your eye color. That's just the universe doing its thing. You're a part of nature. We see ourselves as people, but all we are nature's most complex pieces.
That's true. I just want to make sure that anybody, you say the word consciousness, and it's like, okay, just.
It's the way evolution.
Yeah.
the universe is always moving and working in your favor if you allow it to.
That's true. And you know how beautiful it is. I mean, that's why when I saw you, when I call him Duck. Actually, if people want to know his so Rich Mitch, yeah. So his name is actually Rich Mitch, right? It's cut it. And so and I'm like, who is this guy? Because you've done a lot of the lives with him, and I'm just like, wow, you know, like what a great the conversations that the two of you have. They're truly inspirational, and that's what people are listening to right now. I mean, it's just incredible. And you're bringing it all from the love of fragrance. Look at all the people that you've brought together and inspire. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, that's a part of, you know, conscious evolution too.
Sorry, do you know, I've been talking all that time without because I wasn't looking at my screen.
Oh,
right. I don't know at what point I went off. So, but my Wi-Fi just went down, so I'm actually on. I'm actually on my my mobile data at the minute. Sorry about that.
So you were finishing about what the future, what you think you are. Is that we were talking about that? And so.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm trying to live in the present now, and I want to try and get a couple of health things sorted, and I want to do a bit of introspection.
It's amazing what you'll find. Go into the depths. All your answers are there.
You're gonna be. Yeah. It's the monk. It's, you know, there's a. I don't want to turn anyone off in this room or anything, but there's a tarot card called the Monk. It's the four of swords, I think. And so you're going into this period of you're coming from the past into the present, into this introspection of a monk, where you're going to just keep to yourself for a certain period of time, and just I think that there's a lot ahead of you, Rich. I feel it. So not. You know, spend as little time as you need in that space. I always say when someone, like if I get upset or down, I go, okay, feel this way, but get through it with vigor and haste, because there's so much ahead. And so you have a lot to offer the world, Rich.
Thank you.
I thought I'd share that with you. All right, I'm going to be watching you from the other side. I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
Cheers, George.
Thanks for coming on, George. Always a pleasure. And we'll see you soon, I believe.
Good night, everybody.
Night. Hello.
Well, that was nice.
That was nice. It was nice.
Such a soothing soul, such a calming energy he has.
Yeah, he seems pretty happy in himself.
There's no hurricane after him. There's no destruction. There's nothing but pleasant vibes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's peace and tranquil and just the nice ebb and flow.
I'm looking at bees at the minute. I'm trying to figure out if bees do have an immune system or not.
How did you decide to be a duck? Why didn't you choose to be a bee? You could have been
I just saw the duck and I was like, oh, he looks canny.
So you weren't searching for ducks.
Sorry?
You weren't searching for ducks.
No, I wasn't searching for ducks. The ducks just sort of found me.
Do you guys in the chat, do you want to know how I know when Rich is having a bad day or if he's in a bad mood? Do you see his thumbnail? It's literally a blown up rubber duck. And when I'll know he's in a bad mood, he'll send me a picture of this same duck, but deflated, and it's completely empty of its air. And I'll be like, okay, something's up. What's up, Rich?
Something's up the duck.
It's quite comical.
I like the duck. I always try to. I think humor's a good way of dealing with like strife, especially for men. There's many a true thing said in jest. It's Yeah, it's funny. I think you find that with a lot of funny people, people who are humorous, people who overly rely on humor as well. They're trying to say something without actually saying it. If that makes sense.
Rich, what do you think about carnal flower?
Not for me. Thank you, though.
Oh, white floral, yeah, tuberose.
White for fuck me, tuberose. Tuberose, I might hate tuberose. I dislike tuberose intensely. And it's like,
flower.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of carnal flower. I was thinking, like, on the subject of Malle, I was thinking maybe my next purchase was going to be like music for a while.
I think that would be a great pickup.
Yeah, I know.
Very I think it's very appropriate for spring. So I would say spring, fall, and winter. It's excellent. Might be a little bit too sticky for the summer, but it's
very cloying.
You can get 3 seasons out of it for sure.
Yeah. I think, Sean's right. I think it might be a bit too sweet for me. The pineapple in it. It's very juicy. It's very like dry, sticky.
It's a good.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I've got the 9mm of it here, and I've nearly used all of it. So it's small ears, no fear. Caboose is outrageous with his name changes. It's a good thing he always keeps the same picture.
Yeah, we
small
never
ears,
know.
Small ears, no fear. I don't know. I'm stuck because we were talking about this before we went on air. I'm stuck for what to buy next. And I'm thinking about getting a perfume. The last thing I bought was a backup bottle of
Pavarotti.
No, Nelly.
You bought a bottle of
Balenciaga Pour Homme. It wasn't a bottle. I haven't bought a backup bottle of Pavarotti for a long time. I've got more than I thought I did. And plus the place I was getting them from put like fucking nearly doubled the price on the Smolto I was getting. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, I was telling people to go to that fucking Le Parfumier, and I was thinking the bottles were like £70 or £80, and they're like 130. Don't fucking pay that, because they were fucking ridiculous prices. I might wear this tomorrow, fucking Salt and Vetiver. I'm interested in.
What did you say was next on your list?
I don't know. This is what I'm struggling with. I really don't have a clue what I want to buy next. Houdini, yes, I have got a House of Fraser near me. I try not to use it though, because the woman who works on Creed and the woman who works on Aqua de Palma are complete bitches.
Ooh.
Yeah. But Houdini can tell us what he thinks. Why I should go to House of Fraser.
I think my next purchases will be Queer Maresque and Fumerie Turk.
Yes,
even though I've never smelled Fumerie Turk.
You should definitely get Queer Maresque. You would love it. I would be absolutely shocked to my core if you didn't like Queer Maresque.
Is Queer Maresque, in your opinion, better than Queer Canage? Is that like pulling your feathers out, or?
That's me pulling at me feathers, picking at me feathers to try and just sort my life out. Hold on a minute. Is Queer Maresque better than Queer Canage? Yes. It's got that dank, it's got that sort of sweaty, spicy vibe at the top, and then it's got like that beaten leather. Like, it's like smoke. It's not smoke leather, but there is smoke. That sounds like Sebastian. There it is, but it isn't. But it is. It's got that. I've got it in me thing. I've got it in me drawer. I'll go and get it. I'll get up because I was lying down there for a minute. I'll get up and I'll go and have a smell of me Queer Maresque, and I'll explain it better. I'll tell you what it smells like. It smells like Fendi Uomo.
I don't know that,
but I know you I know, that's what I was just about to say there. You haven't smelled that at all, have you? What's that in your hand?
They're just blotters from
All
Saks.
right. See, we're not allowed to steal our fucking thingies.
I don't steal. I always ask, and they'll give me like still in the wrapper, and they'll put them in the. I would never steal them.
Yeah, they would never do that in this country because they're a bunch of tossers. Most of the sales, well, some of the sales associates are. It depends if you've got a decent. It depends if you've got a decent relationship or not. There's a second.
So Fumery Turk is the best tobacco fragrance I've ever smelled. Interesting.
Oh, it's a very good tobacco fragrance.
I know you referenced it as a sweet tobacco, but a good sweet.
Yes, it's good. It's good sweet. It's not bad sweet. It's got.
I do not
sweet done well.
Caps. I've never stolen a cap. That is a lie.
Yes,
what
I know.
You
simply throw them away.
No, I've never. The caps have always gone back. Every single time.
So where is there? It is. Hold on a second.
I need something new. I need to, if somebody has some unloved bottles, I would love to torch something.
Do you know what you need to get as well when you get Queer-Moresque? This Queer-Moresque smells a lot like Knees 10, but probably with a bit more spice. It's got that.
I've smelled that. It's. I thought it was brilliant. It's a very buttery, supple leather, spicy, warm, golden brown.
Yeah. Queer-Moresque is beautiful. Knees 10 as well. You can pick Knees 10 up for a very good price for what it is.
There's just nowhere to buy them here.
Oh, you can get it from Lucky Scent or the Fumery. I'm sure Galen and Thomas have told you where you can get it.
Look, Houdini left you a comment here.
What did he say?
I guess Fraser
had the code thing. Oh yeah, me mate got it. Got 50% off.
Wow.
Yeah, 50% off all. I don't know if it's all perfume. It doesn't include Chanel, and I don't know if it includes other things. But if that's true, I'll take some money to House of Fraser, and I might buy a couple of Tom Fords. But there's very little. There's very little by way of choice in my House of Fraser. It doesn't include Creed as well. Not that I would buy off Creed because they're dickheads. But the one at that place is a dickhead.
What's Creed retail now?
Oh, fucking bonkers price! Like 300 quid.
Yeah, that's like 500 Canadian, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's more than Malle, right? Or about the same?
Yeah.
Malle retail prices in Canada is insane. Like to the point where I probably wouldn't even buy them. I haven't bought many Malle here in Canada retail. Most of mine are out overseas.
Yeah. Well, you were getting them from Premier Avenue, weren't they?
Yeah, it's because the prices were insane.
Yeah, they've got. I'll tell you what Aventus retails for. Fucking I've got Aventus, but I just don't see the hype.
Carnal Flower is in Canada. The 100 ml bottle is $525.
Oh, that is yawningly huge.
Insanity.
That is so much money.
Yeah.
That is so much money. That is a lot of money. That's too much money for a bottle of perfume. That is fucking outrageous behavior. They're taking the fucking piss.
I think I have 3 bottles. Shh, don't tell me.
Well, it's outrageous that it's been warm here today, and it's been snowing where you are. What the fuck? It's like we're oceans apart. What are you gonna wear tomorrow?
We have the same weather too.
Sorry?
We have kind of the same weather, UK and Canada.
Yeah. We're on the same. I can't remember which one it is, whether it's latitude or longitude, but we're on the similar one.
I just believe you guys are much more gray. For some reason, I have the thought that you're much more gray skies and dreary and rainy.
That's a meme. It's not always like when the sun shines in this country, it's the best country in the world. It's because it's when the sun shines, and because it rarely does. So it's such a fucking surprise. It's not always great. It's just usually we're very like we don't get extremes of weather, and our average is like usually. Our average, like you get much more extreme weather in Canada because I don't know if you're under the jet stream or not. But we've got the jet stream. The jet stream goes over the top of us, so it protects us from all the Arctic weather. We would have the same climate as like Denmark and fucking Norway and fucking Sweden if we didn't have the jet stream. And I don't know why it is, but we get protected pretty much. It does rain here a lot, and the weather is changeable. But when it's hot and when it's sunny, it's one of the best. It's one of, if not the best country in the world, because it never gets so hot that it's unbearable.
The summers here are disgusting. They're almost unbearable. They're so
yeah.
hot. I almost prefer like winter for the extremes. I'd rather have a winter than a muggy. I can't stand it. It's like you can't breathe. You need to be in a climate-controlled room. Perfume is useless summers here.
Yeah, like, I can't hack high heat. I turn to a fucking quiver and wreck like a big jelly. I'm just an absolutely useless mess when it's far too hot. I'm definitely a Norseman. I'm definitely somebody who I'm definitely a Viking. Like of like ancestry, if you like Saurus, I'm a big horrible man. And I fucking I can't be dealing with like overheating. I would much rather it be very cold than very hot, especially perfume wise as well, because obviously I can wear thick stuff.
Summer fragrances suck in general.
There's very little room for creativity with summer fragrances. I was shocked when I did my fragrance rotation turnover, in that I didn't have like the amount of autumn and winter perfumes I've got compared to the amount of spring summer perfumes I've got was absolutely shocking. I was like, whoa. It's almost 2 to 1.
So Creeds go for $660 here in Canada for 100 mil. Are they all priced the same across the range? Because I know
it's 280 pounds for 100 mil of Aventus in this country.
Wow, is the pound is worth that much to the dollar?
I don't have a clue. I'll tell you what it is if you give us the American dollar or the Canadian dollar.
Canadian dollar.
Right, so £100. All right, so £100.
Frederic Malle the Moon is 960 Canadian dollars.
Sorry, how much?
960.
Which one's the worst?
Well, there's the Moon, there's Promise, which is even lower, and then there's the Night and Dawn that are higher. I don't know which one is the worst. So
it's almost £2. It's almost £2 Canadian dollars to a pound. It's 57. So £57 or £58 to 100 Canadian dollars.
527 US dollars. I guess that's for one of the Creeds.
Oh my god. It's outrageous. I've been banging that drum for ages, to be fair, I've been saying fucking
Promises.
I've been saying
$525 Canadian.
I paid about 200 quid for that. I was fucking buzzing.
Were you high?
I was fucking loving it, honestly, because I remember talking to you. Or what it might know, do you know what it might have been? It might have been Robert. I might have been talking to Fragrance Journey.
Yeah,
and he reviewed it. Yeah, he reviewed it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to the shop tomorrow and I buy it. I went to the shop the next day, and they were like, oh, we've got 10% off. I was like, give us it and I'll fuck off. And that's exactly what I did.
Really? Did you even try it? Or
I tried it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's good, I'll take it, bye. And I took it, and it's one of the, I've got that 100 ml bottle, right? And that 100 ml bottle will last me forever, right? Because It's
no
it's
doubt.
it's not something you can wear every day, and one spray will see you through all day. It's absolutely fucking nuclear.
Okay, so the dawn and the night are 2,150 Canadian dollars.
Jesus Christ.
Insanity.
That is
it's
bonkers.
not worth buying.
Which one's the one that smells like shitty ox shit?
Then a hemorrhaging.
Nice. Yeah, I remember the video with you and Crystal where you were like, "Oh, it smells like blue cheese, like an ox is eating blue cheese and then shat it all out."
Yeah.
Oh, it was dark times. Fuck me. Pensy wants to be fucked. Sean wants to be fucked.
Everybody who doesn't want to be.
Everybody wants. Yeah, it is crazy. The retail prices in the US yet to rip off.
Sign up here in the chat. Who wants to be fucked?
The price of my collection just going up right now. You can take a pill, put it in a bottle, and then you have the night. Not Alex Chew, you are not an ox. Or maybe you are. Hello.
Nobody should ever pay retail for any Creed. Great. I agree. Or for any perfume.
Yeah, if you can get them cheaper, yeah. If you can't, just do it. Cheryl's saying hello. She's not in the chat, but she is replying to us on another channel.
Oh, to you?
Yeah, she's replying us on a comment.
Are you in another stream right now by any chance?
No, I'm absolutely not in another stream right now. I promise. What it is I've left a comment on Tara's latest video, and then Cheryl from last night has replied to one of my comments, and she's just saying, "Oh, I saw you live before. I just wanted to say hello because I couldn't stay." So,
oh, what a lovely soul.
Maybe she didn't want us to say how good she looked.
Why wouldn't she want to know that?
I don't know. Maybe she just felt victim. I noticed Tara hasn't been in tonight.
Do you think there's a reason? Do you think we were too much with her?
I don't know. I think it started heading that way at some point.
Do you think I should apologize?
No.
No? Stand my ground?
No. Maybe not do what we did again.
Just
It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It wasn't me. It wasn't any one particular person, was it?
Right.
It was all of you.
It was consciousness. It was just the flow of evolution.
It was the
she was a good
it was all three of us. She was a good
sport. It could have gone ugly, but it didn't.
No, I wouldn't do it again though.
You know who I think would be able to handle it is Hillary.
Hillary takes it hard.
That could mean many things, my friend.
Hillary can take it and take it hard.
I'm also thinking of getting that Oris tattoo because you've been talking so highly of it, and I love Iris.
I haven't worn it since I last spoke to you.
Well, you probably won't wear it again till next spring because you got to fill out the rotation. Doesn't that suck about having a massive collection?
You don't get to wear what you love as much. You find yourself having to wear stuff that you don't love as much as what you don't wear.
Yeah,
like you've got loads of fragrances in storage, haven't you? Like, do you miss any of them? Do you wish you could get some of them out, or do you just not miss them?
Sometimes I go back to revisit and see if my opinion will change, and then it's like, nah, and they just go right back into the box. I think kind of like where I am right now in my journey, I'm very happy with.
Yeah.
So about that Tabac, I will say this. As much as I hate the opening, it's very sweet. I think they use way too much sweetness. I see Alex just mentioned Dior here. I think progressively it does get better though. I actually think there's too much going on in that perfume. Like we were talking about Elena being a minimalist. I think it would have actually been better if they had taken some things out of it.
Yeah.
It feels like they're trying to do too much, which makes the perfume very blocky and blobby and has no shape to it.
Yeah.
I thought the dry down was lovely. The smoke, the ashiness came out. Quite a bit of patchouli. I got some herbalness.
I've never smelled it. They haven't brought them out. They haven't brought them out anywhere near me. It's absolutely shocking. I haven't smelled any of the ones like that are new.
I don't think anyone in the chat wears perfume. We just talk about them.
That's right.
I mean, one thing you can say about the Dior's is they all perform like beasts. They remind me of like those old school hot rods, muscle cars. They're all very strong.
Yeah.
Single one that is weak.
Right.
No?
Sorry, can you say that again? Explain that again.
They're all very strong, those Dior exclusives. Outrageously strong. Like they protect and they last. They're like muscle cars. That's what they remind me of. Hot rods.
Yeah, but they can only go in a straight line. They don't handle very well.
Right. That's what I mean. They have no shape to them. They can only go in the straight line. Great way of putting it.
Yeah. They're very linear. The lack. When I say linear, what I mean is that it's not like you spray them on. It's not like you spray them on. Hold on a second. It's not like you spray them on and they smell like the opening all the way through the perfume. What it is that there's no contours. There's no sort of bends in the road. There's like from a Dior perfume, you don't get thrown any sort of like surprises. You get the top, you get the middle, you get the bottom, you get what you're given, and if you don't like it, tough. It's not like in other perfumes. I'm looking at like I don't want to say Beau de Jour or Zeno, but like we'll go with Signature. You know, Signature Pour Homme by Zaharov, because I think that's a very complex fragrance. But there are like bits of that fragrance that like surprise you. There are no surprises in Dior perfumes now.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's nothing new or yeah, you're right. I mean, they're complex and they change, but there's nothing surprising or mysterious or lurking around the corner. Like, let's say Bella Respiro, which is like it's up and down and moody and twisty and oh man, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah. Right. Here's one for you. Who do you think produces the most complex fragrances? That's got all those twists and turns in them. Consistently. Like it's part of their aesthetic.
I think Jean-Claude Elena is great for that.
No. I meant a brand.
Hermes is, while Jean-Claude was there. I think Guerlain is really good at that.
That's what I was going to say. I think Guerlain might be the best. I think Guerlain might be the best at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Serge Lutens is really good at that, but not as good as Guerlain. I also think that some of the Malles are good at that, or Malle as a brand is good at that.
Yeah, but not all of them.
No, not all of them. No. What else? Who else? No, I would say Guerlain. Sorry, I would say Guerlain. Guerlain are the best at making complex fragrances that do things. Like we're talking about. Sorry, what we're talking about on Sans Mythique last week. And I think Ensens Mythique is Ensens Mythique. Oh, fuck off. Oh, that's all right. I just dropped Ensens Mythique onto the screen of my tablet.
You could have broke both.
So, oh, honestly, right. I was like, oh, fuck off. I was proper gutted there. That was frightening. That, sorry, but I think a good video topic for us to do as well would be to rank top 10 Vasa Guerlains, like Guerlain's best work for Guerlain, Vasa's best work for Guerlain. So you couldn't have any Jean Paul's. You couldn't have any like of the.
How would you define like Le Petit Robe Noir? The original was not created by him, but
so you couldn't have it in.
The original first version is no longer in production, so everybody considers like the Le Petit Robe Noir that he created is his first perfume. Would that count? So it'd be like,
I think so.
It would be able to like it count for giving Francois Demachet credit for doing Fahrenheit. He did the flanker. Which flanker did he do? Absolute.
Yeah, he did Absolute. He did Le Parfum. He did the Cologne, Aqua Fahrenheit. I believe. You could like rate your Vassas. Like, or you could just do a top 10 Thierry Vassa perfumes.
Yeah.
Or we could just sit and have a discussion. We could just sit and just have a discussion about his career. It would take a little bit of like research on our part, or certainly on my part, because I'm not overly fucking thing with what he did before Guerlain. But
he did Salvador Dali.
Yeah, no, he did. It's absolutely outrageous.
That was his first ever perfume.
Yeah, and it's a cult classic now.
He did Dior Addict.
It's mad to think that not Jacques Pauls, Olivia Pauls did a Dior Homme staple. You know, like he did Dior Homme. Sorry, he did a Dior staple in Homme.
He also did Queer Beluga.
Did he really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Why is it called Queer Beluga? What does beluga mean? Because all I know beluga from is like a whale.
I believe there's ambergris in Queer Beluga. It might not be listed, but I'm pretty sure I get an ambergris in there.
So you think it might be like from that sort of reference, like from the sea?
It has this balsamicness to it, very warm and you know that special thing that ambergris does.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I like it. I love ambergris. I've got 2 bottles of Ensens Mythique, and I think I might need a third.
Really?
Just I would like to get my hands on a vintage, actually, like the original one. But I've got a feeling that would cost a fucking arm and a leg now.
How would you rank the absolute? So, like, what would be your top, let's say, 3 or 4? You don't have to do the whole collection.
Right. So, first would be Ensens Mythique. There's no point in fucking about and making people wait, because the first would be Ensens Mythique. What would I pick after that? I mean, I've got Queer Intense, but I don't particularly like it. It's not a fucking leather perfume to me. It's all violet. Like, it's all violet.
It has its days. It has its moments.
Yeah.
So there's Bois Mysterio. There's Musk Noble, Patchouli Ardent, Ombre Eternal, Queer Intense, Oud Essential, Santal Royale.
So I would go 1. Top would be. Oh fuck me! Ensens Mythique. Second would be Patchouli Ardent. And third would be probably Ambre Eternel.
Okay.
Almost solely based on Galen's review.
It's such a shame that's been discontinued because it is gorgeous.
Yeah. There's meant to be a new one coming out, isn't there?
Tobacco.
Oh my god, that'll be interesting. So what would your top 3 of them be?
So I would rank them like this. I think objectively as I can be, I would say Encens is the best. But my personal favorite would be Bois Studio. And then number 2 would be Encens Méthode.
So what would be number 3?
Santal Royale.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, I'm not a fan.
Absolutely hated, like passionately hated and detested it with every ounce of me. It gave me migraines, headaches. It was just so cloying. Like I felt like I had bleach in my nose the first 2 days I wore it. I think it was just from spraying. I was just like over sprayed it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a 1-2 sprayer at most. It's fucking nuclear.
But if
I sold my bottle actually.
I think I don't know. I think there's something to it. There's something absolutely beautiful to it. I don't get synthetic anymore. I don't get those sharp or harsh edges. It's very warm. I get I don't know. I get something animalic from it. I get a lot of patchouli. I get a lot of texture. It's beautiful. I love it. There's certain days where it works better than others. It's warm and creamy. I think it's one of the most complex things I've ever put on that works properly without being too much.
Do you think that it smells like Coco Noir?
No, I think it has a much more texture. Coco Noir is much more smooth. Coco Noir, like, it feels more plasticky, where Santal Royale feels. If I were to run my hands over a Persian rug, that's how I would describe the texture of Santal Noir or Santal Royale. Santal Royale, not Santal Noir.
Yeah. So,
I think Santal Royale. Jesus, what is it called? Santal Royale. I think it's one of Wasser's best works.
Really?
Hmm.
I don't feel like that at all. I'd be surprised if he worked on it.
Why?
It just doesn't smell like the other Guerlains he's made.
Well,
to me, it smells very. It smells chunky, like it's a big boy.
None of the Absolute smell like Guerlain. They don't take anything.
No,
like
that's a fair point. That
Jean-Paul Guerlain would have a fucking heart attack if I don't know if he smelled them or not. I'd love to see his reaction.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still alive. It would be interesting to hear what he thought about the brand if he could do it without fucking calling someone the N-word.
I think he used a natural ambergris. I don't think he used synthetics in either or Encens Méthode.
Yeah. I think it was natural. I don't think it was it definitely smells natural. If it is fake, then it's an amazing effort. Yeah.
The one I think I was most disappointed, like I absolutely hated Santal Royale. Like, I thought it was pure shit the first several times I wore it. Actually, took me years to develop a love for it, but I think I was most disappointed was in the oud. That, like, it was like, yeah, is this Guerlain or is this Montal? Like, it smelled like a Montal to me. That smelled overly synthetic.
Yeah. Oops. No, I know what you mean. The Eau d'Eternel was pretty plain. So let us ask you a question. Sorry.
I was having like one day I was with Maria and we were having like the kids were at the movie and we went for desserts and we were on like a date and this guy walks in with his date and he walks past me and I'm like, the fucking guy is wearing Santal Royale and he smells like a dirty cat, like a pissy cat, like a fucking vermin, you know? Just dirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it smells fucking brilliant. Like, I wanted to go up to him and ask him what he was wearing, but Maria's like, no, leave him alone. Like, let him just don't bother people. And I was like, he's wearing Santal Royale for sure. And at that moment, I was like, it smells so damn good.
Yeah, it smells better in the air.
Yeah.
It's somebody said once, oh, Sprody. He was like, if you want to know what a perfume smells like in the air, what you should do is you should spray it in your bathroom and then shut the door and leave. And then go and like, yeah, go and make a cup of tea or go and do something and then go back to the bathroom and smell it.
I do that all
and then you'll know what it smells like in the air.
Spray it in the room, open the window just a crack to get a little bit of breeze for circulation. Yeah. I'll do it in the shop too, where I work. Like I'll spray it in the air and I'll walk away and I'll come back 5 minutes later and you get a big whiff.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, like stuff there's a lot of stuff that can smell horrible, like up close on your skin. Yeah. Like, I'll tell you what does that, Dracar Noir. Dracar Noir smells like a dirty, horrible sock up close. I know Ashton loves the Dracar Noir, but when you smell it up close on your skin, it smells like a fucking bad sock, like a bad worn sock, like a wank sock, like, you know, like a sock you put over your, you know, like a sock you put over your cock, and fucking, you know what I mean? It's but then you've worn it as well. That's how it smells up close on the skin. But in the air, it smells really nice. I'll tell you something I found out recently as well. Do you know Dracar Noir?
Yeah.
Right? It's a flanker. Dracar Noir is a flanker. I did not know that. I genuinely thought Dracar Noir was in a standalone fragrance, but it's not. There is a fragrance called Dracar.
Oh, that makes
by Guy Laroche. Yeah, absolutely bonkers. What do you think? Before you say what you're going to say next, right? What do you think of Venigaland?
Who?
Venigaland.
What's that?
The Hermes, the Vanille Galant.
That's the one. That's one of the few I don't own.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know it very well, but I don't own that, and I don't own Santal Massoya, and I don't own Muguet, but I really, really, really want Muguet.
There's a bottle of it for sale in London, but I don't want it because I don't like Lily of the Valley. No, not Venigaland. Muguet.
Oh, I really want the Muguet, but the 100 ml. I don't want the baller size bottles like you.
I've got the 200 ml of Vetiver Tonka. It's a great dumb reach.
My car is one place where I struggle to smell my perfume.
Yeah.
Unless
this Venigaland
open, if there's like circulation, okay, but if there's no circulation, I can't smell my perfume.
Venigaland smells like ice cream to me. Smells like ice cream on the wind. It's really fresh. It's got light vanilla.
Yeah.
It's creamy, fresh, light vanilla. It's very nice.
Why do I have a feeling that Malle took his booths away? They might be only available. You know, the spray booths? They've got kind of a vacuum in there, or
yes, that's right.
To spin the fragrance around, you put your head in the window. They've taken the
Yeah.
booth away in Toronto. I don't know if they're just available at boutiques.
I don't think they are, because they used to have one of those. You'll not be able to use them with COVID. They stopped after COVID, yeah. Someone says I'm describing Chorus. Oh, it's Joe. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, there's
What's
a
that?
lot of synthetics in Ombre Eternal. I don't think the ambergris is synthetic, though. The whole collection is built on synthetics.
Yeah.
Like, they're all very
What about the...
and strong perfumes. You need to get used to them.
Yeah. What do you think of the line? You know the line that Lupin comes from, right?
Yeah.
What are your top three from that? Yeah, the Parisians. What's your top three from that line?
I ranked those with Christo, and I ranked Lupin number one.
Which one?
Dandy.
Dandy.
Yeah. But I mean, Lupin and Derby, I mean, I could go either or. I think my preference at that time was Lupin.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Lupin and Derby are both, exceptionally well.
Yeah.
I think the whole collection is great, to be honest.
Yeah. I was gonna buy a vintage Derby, but people for some reason want fucking bonkers prices for them. And I'm not willing to pay like there was a bloke who had one for 350 euros, and it had come down from 400 euros, and vintage I was like, I'll give you 300. Yeah, the Eagle bottle. And I was like, I'll give you 300 euros for it right now. And he was like, no, and he just declined the offer. And I was trying to say to him, like, look, I'll meet us in the middle, 325, because I've got to pay shipping from somewhere as well, Germany. And he held out, and eventually he got his 350 euros. So fucking fair play to him.
Alex Chu, those are done. They'll never happen again. Once they close.
Sorry?
I'm talking to Alex Chu. He's asking about the Guerlain sales, and I'm saying they're done. They will never happen again. They used to give 25% off.
Wow.
Yeah. Once a year, they would have a massive sale at the end of summer. That's when I got the majority of my Guerlains. Like, I would wait.
I was going to say, why would you buy them another time? You would just wait.
The cinnamon stands out in this. Right now, I'm getting cinnamon.
Which one what you smelling?
Santal Royale. But there's I get some harshness, some sharpness to this. Woods, creamy woods, jasmine, cinnamon is what I'm picking up.
Yeah. I always got a big rose, big synthetic rose, and something dark, like a patchouli.
This does great in the heat. It makes sense why Arabs wear oud and heavy perfumes in the heat. This works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why are you up? Like, what is your fascination with the vintage Derby? Why don't you just get the modern one?
Ingredients.
Do you think they're that much discernible?
Yes. It's
they're thicker, right?
Yeah, there's just more to them.
Yeah. It's like they were picked in the wild. They have a different character to them.
Yeah, they were more readily available. There were less restrictions on them. There was more freedom and there was more creativity. It felt like people didn't know what they were doing, even though they were better at doing it. like their ways, the old ways were better. And even though they didn't know, like they felt like there was more room to grow than what that feels like now. People are just dialing in their perfumes now. Like there's like almost as if like they know too much. Like there's like people weren't afraid to make mistakes back then. Now if you make mistakes, you're a pariah. You know, like especially in the corporate world and in the fashion world and stuff like that. And obviously perfume's just an extension of the fashion world, really. It's probably one of the highest markups, but I think a lot of perfume over the years has been a just like an afterthought for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like for a lot of brands and stuff. So it's just I just prefer. It's even not. It's just like I'm into vintage stuff as it stands. And it's like I like vintage everything. When I used to be into cars, I liked vintage cars more.
Okay.
Like I used to get like yes, yeah. I'm just one of them, and I've brought it into the but things are just like I just feel like I've got the certainty of knowing what happened next. Like, do you know, like when in like 1981, like I know where the story goes. And like stuff at the minute, I don't know what's going to happen next. I feel like there's a bit of nostalgia about perfume, like about me, like knowing what's going to happen. It's like a certainty.
Yeah, you're attached to what you know.
Yeah,
like change.
And the present. Yeah, I don't like change as a person, but but the thing is that like a lot of what's available now is a lot of what's available now is just regurgitated. It's just like mix. It's all they do is they just like put the same ingredients and they just pull them out in a different order.
You spend a lot of time thinking about this, don't you?
It's painful for us. It's a cause of great consternation to me that
taking medication, thinking about it, like painkillers.
No, not quite. I find myself taking painkillers anyway. So I'm taking the painkillers anyway. So I might as well think about perfume while I'm doing it.
I'd love to try vintage Derby just to see how it compares.
You can get the minis. You can get the little minis, like the 7.5 mls. Like they're like £30 for a 7.5 because I've got one. That's how I know it. That's how I know what it's like. It's a nutmeg bomb. The big nutmeg and leather fragrance with a bit of oak moss in there. It's beautiful. It's Guerlain's 80s powerhouse. That's what it is. It's Guerlain's answer to like Coros and Antaeus and those sort of fragrances and Quorum.
Do you remember? I'm just thinking about vintage cars or older cars. Do you remember the bumpers on old cars?
Yes.
They're big slabs of steel that wrap around the car or the front end or the back end. They're literally steel.
Yeah.
You know what's in them today? In the bumper underneath the plastic?
Go on.
Styrofoam.
Yeah.
That's what's in your bumper. That's what's protecting you.
It's not though. You've got the chassis. And you've got the crumple zones. It's more about the way the cars. It's more about the way the car's built than it is about the materials used now.
The car went from having a steel bumper to a styrofoam bumper.
Yeah. Styrofoam. That's mainly for pedestrians. If you hit anybody with your car.
If you hit a pedestrian, doesn't matter if it's steel or styrofoam. You know, there's going to be damage.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be damage, but also the way that the angle at which your bumpers are at. because that's why like a lot of modern cars look the same now, because there's an angle at which you build your front bumpers and it stops people from getting dragged under the car. And it's also the most efficient way of aerodynamics as well, so it saves on the fuel. See you later, empty sense. So it's all like that. This is part of what I'm talking about. Once you know these things, right, then you've got to do them out of like responsibility. Excuse me, I need to drink water.
Isn't that what happened to the ingredients of perfumes? Out of responsibility, they've taken out.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely spot on. All I'm saying is, while I can still get vintage perfumes, that was like to me, that was more like an exciting the 80s and the 90s. The 90s where it started to dampen down, where everybody was like, oh, fucking hell, we've been on a jolly in the 80s. All the deregulation was the big thing in the 80s, wasn't it? Like freedom of spirit, freedom of this, like everybody just do what you want. And I appreciated that, but like once you see the consequences of that, then you've sort of got a responsibility to like your fellow man to like not be a dick. You know? How do you feel
about Lee's comment? Lee M. I regret money I spent eating out more than fragrances.
I'm not sure about that. Like, I don't regret the money. I don't regret. You know, I don't regret. I must have given my mate about $2,000 worth of fragrances, at least $2,000 worth of fragrances. Retail.
So you don't feel guilty spending on fragrance?
No, because I enjoyed it. It's my hobby. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't fucking kill people. I don't fucking.
He has more regret spending money in other places than fragrance. And I get that. I think a lot of people feel that.
Yeah.
Because eating out can be very expensive. You're paying for somebody else's time and labor.
When you buy 100 ml bottle, right, it's going to last you for a long time.
For me, it's a lifetime. I'll never go through this. So, like, I think backup, I'm like, do I really need one? As much as if they're going to discontinue all of them, do I really need a backup? Like, will I ever get through 125? I got I got a vintage and a modern. I will never get through
them. Yeah, I agree. I know what you mean. What I do is I back up the bottles that I know I can't get anymore. What's that? I spent 70% of my disposable income. Fragrances, the rest I wasted. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. That's an old joke. That's an old joke, but it's well applied. I appreciate that, actually. Very good.
Well, we all find value in perfume.
Yeah, I love me perfumes. I don't know what else I would spend my money on.
You can't pick up a bottle. You can't pick. There's a whole process in picking up a perfume. Like, you can't just pick one up. You have to study and research. That's part of the fun, right?
Yeah.
And that buys you time.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Rich, how do you know when you have enough backups?
How do you know when you have enough backups? Let's have a think. How do I know when I've got enough backups? I don't.
You just keep adding. You keep
sometimes it's to do with availability, and it's to do with like rarity.
Ashfaq.
Hello everyone. Hello Ashfaq.
I bet you Ashfaq smells like some sort of animal tonight, or poop.
Sorry? Oh yeah, he loves his badood, like.
Yeah. Who do you think is the smelliest person in the chat?
In what way, smelly?
Like smelly oud or smelly perfume. It's 6 a.m. I guess he's not applied any oud yet.
You're probably the smelliest person in the chat.
What? I don't think so. I think there's people with way more interesting taste.
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting tired now.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Time to finish. Wrap it up. 3 hours.
Okay.
Some time still to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
No problem.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us. I'm fucking falling asleep now. Fucking hell.
No worries. You should have been asleep hours ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was fucking shattered. I was fucking shattered this morning. So
I felt the same.
Yeah, it was a.
It's like a 4-hour stream, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I was there the whole time. Sometimes I usually just go home. It's
I don't get this whole craft thing. It keeps popping up.
Craft power.
What is the joke?
It's craft's like a German thing, isn't it?
What does it mean, though?
That's a good question. Ask Rudy what you're talking about.
Rudy says, "Thank you very much, me blokes."
Me blokes.
Oh,
thank you, Rudy.
Are these even worth mentioning? Kurdian doing more flankers?
Kurdian Forte colognes. Oh my god.
Like
Jesus.
Those are soft enough. Let's water them down some more.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Kurdian, man. He's honestly, I was at the counter the other day, right, and I was smelling his stuff, and I was like, mate, this is bonkers. I was like, these are just like it goes from the sublime to the ridiculous. I would buy you Satin Mood.
Do you like that?
But I sit there and say that I would buy it, right? Like I would buy it, right? But then I think to myself, do you know what it is? If it was like 6 months ago or a year ago, I would say I'd buy it, and then I'd buy it when we got off the stream. But I'm not. I'm slowing down my purchasing. I'm very much into trying to enjoy what I've got and discover more about what I've got. But like one of the things I said about before we came on the stream tonight was if anybody could like suggest anything that they think I would enjoy. Somebody said to me, James Alexander, really, I don't know if he's still here. He said check out number 88 by Check and Speak. So I don't know if anybody and I've tried, and I don't think Greggy's got any samples of it to sell. So it's a blind buy.
It would be your thing. It doesn't feel like it has thickness for you. Knowing,
I'll tell you what I might buy. One of those Beauforts. They are fucking bananas. I highly recommend you try them, but I don't know if you would buy them. That they might just be mad enough that you would think I've got to have one of these because they're crazy.
Okay.
Because they would challenge you. They would challenge you hugely.
Do they smell shitty?
Sorry?
Do they smell shitty?
No, they don't smell shitty. They smell like the cleanliness of the fire. That's what they smell like. They smell like pirates. They smell like pirates. They smell like wood. They smell like booty, and not the arse booty, but just general booty.
Leather?
Like there is leather, but it's more smoke. There's more birch tar burning. There's like juniper, cade. Animalic stuff.
I like those notes. Cypress.
Yeah. I would have to pull them out and have a look, but I think I'm going to get Rake and Ruin.
How about
probably the most
Interlude 53.
Interlude 53.
Hang on,
Just
aren't
get
there
interlude 50.
2 interlude flankers now? There's 53, and wasn't there another one?
There's Iris, the black Iris one.
Yes, that's what it is. So there's 2 interlude flankers.
Yeah, you can tell the bloke's fucking shut the bed there. Like he's fucking
riding that train.
Yeah. Totally dropped a bollock. Amouage will be on their ass soon enough.
Do you think they're struggling? Was that the reason for that? I can imagine Amouage struggling.
I think the problem you've got is that there's
the competition.
I mean, you look at it's not just the competition. I think it's the like we're entering a new age where green energy and like green planet and everything like that's going to be like a huge thing. So the whole like zeitgeist of the times we're living in is going to change soon. And I think that a lot to do with so people's taste in fragrances will change as well. People will want to smell fresh and clean, and they'll want to smell this and that. I can see like the Aventuses and the Dylan Blues and the Sauvages. I can see those like tapering off and giving way to something that smells much more natural. People are going to start going for more natural smelling stuff. I'm telling you, I think the next big note, you know how oud was like the big note of the last 10 years, right? I think the next big note, right, is probably going to be oak.
Okay. More dry.
I know that's like a wood, like an oak or something more natural smelling. Because
have you seen that starting to be used now already?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, Aqua de Palma released a couple of ones. I think what'll happen is,
oh yes, I think I've smelt that.
Yeah, the Aqua de Palma, the Colonia leather that they had was absolutely fucking outstanding. I thought I never got it
or something. Is that what it was called?
Quercia. Yes, spot
it was
on.
Oak and moss, not oak, like oak tree and then oak moss.
Yes, you're right. It was interesting, but oak.
Would you buy it? Would you buy it at retail?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't buy it at retail. I think there's a lot of. What do I think there's a lot of? I think there's a lot of. It's too. I think hardwood when I think oak. Like for me, I want something with a little bit more give. Do you know, like oak wood sort of smells like a bit austere.
Yeah. Brian has a good point. Next big note will be a new synthetic, probably something very clean, very much like Ambroxan.
No, Brian does make a very good point there. I'm trying to, maybe I'm being too optimistic. In saying that it's going to be something like somebody's going to discover some new ingredient, like George is going to be out in the wild one day and come across some outrageous tree from like deepest South America, or like he's going to be Alaska and he's going to be out chasing the moose, and like he's going to discover like some kind of like some horn of
I don't think it'll be anything Animalic or close to it. It'll be very clean and boring.
Yeah, it feels like it's the way it's going, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it'll be a synthetic for sure. I'm hoping for green. I'd love to see green become trendy, but
yeah,
not possible.
I've seen a few oak perfumes when I hadn't seen them before. So that's what I'm basing it on. I made this prediction a couple of years ago as well, and it still hasn't come true, so maybe I'm just talking shite. We'll just have to wait and see. If I could tell the future, I'd be a rich man. We would be rich men.
Absolutely.
I'd give you some money. If I won the lottery big time, I'd give you some money.
And I'd use it to buy perfume.
Yes, I'd use it to buy perfume. You wouldn't have to feel fucking guilty then, do you know what I mean? I just buy as much fucking perfume. I get like a house. I'd build like a massive house and just have like a perfume wing. I wouldn't have a perfume room. I'd have like a wing of the house, and it would just be like, fuck it. This is the Malle room. This is the Dior room.
Right. This is the Chanel room.
And then exactly.
The Balenciaga Perfume room.
Yes, that's right. All of them for one fragrance. You're spot on.
You should just move to Canada. Win the lottery.
You know what it is? I would, if I won the lottery that big, right? I would just get them to. I would just get in touch with Balenciaga and just be like, yeah, make us like Balenciaga Perfume. Just make us it, right? And just give it all to me. Just don't release it to the public. Just make all of it for me, and I'll just buy it. I'll just buy crates of it. Just pump it in. Just like build like a fucking like get me house plumbed. Like so, I could have like a tap in each room of Balenciaga.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Coming out the tap.
And then when you're applying perfume, I could just spray you from the garden hose to be like Balenciaga Perfume coming out of it.
Would you be like me? Would you be like me, pool boy?
Yeah, you just stand there like a duck. It's like splashing in Balenciaga. Yes,
that's right. Feathers caked in Balenciaga Perfume. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. It's outrageously. You smelled it at Samir's, didn't you?
I did. It is really good.
It is fucking good. Just to think that's what designer perfume smelled like 30 years ago.
Yeah, complete niche today. But something about it brought Bois de Zil to my mind. I mean, it's
got sandalwood in it.
Richer than Bois de Zil. But some of the notes, the soapiness, the floral accord, there must be some sandalwood in there as well.
Yeah, there's like a powdery vibe in Bois de Zil.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get powder. I get quite a bit of powder, but then the powder, it just like Balenciaga Perfume smells like a dressing room, and it smells like almost like a man and woman's dressing room. Do you know, like you're gonna go on stage and there's some powder over in one room and there's like a drink somewhere and then there's like some food somewhere else and then there's like, but then like you've got the perspiring body as well and it's just
are there any lemons anywhere?
What the fuck? Behave yourself.
No lemons?
No lemons. Fuck the lemon. Absolutely not. Can't be dealing with fucking that. My small house is a perfume wing. Get in. Oh, right. I'm going to have to bail because I'm going to fall asleep if I don't.
Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for showing up. We'll probably
thank you, the chat.
See you Monday. I don't normally stream on the weekends. I got the kids here and just like to spend time with them and don't want to be streaming for 3 or 4 hours while they've got nothing to do. So we'll see you next week. Rich, thanks for coming on. Always appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you too. Thanks for having us back on.
Yeah, it was a lovely, lovely stream. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.